Discord might break here for a second
Okay.
because it's being stupid.
Excuse
Yep,
me.
there it goes.
That was Sagrel that did it, not me.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, Discord just is being really annoying with today. Sorry, I'm taking you away from your book.
No, it's fine. We're still in ads anyway. For like another 10 seconds. Like if it said like cafe patron with just the
Mm-hmm.
logo,
Okay.
how much would that be?
Um. So we're we're just doing like, are we saying medium size, small, large,
A range of
all of the
sizes.
range of sizes?
Hmm.
And how many are you estimating like that you would want to get? If you're just
I have no clue.
normally normally if you're just going to get like one shirt,
Hmm.
um because of we need the shirt, we need, if we're doing, sublimation printing for it, which is
Hey,
what
Tiger.
we would have to do for it. If we do we're gonna do have to do submission for it,
Hmm.
for the logo and everything on it. And to be fair, with how expensive everything is so far, um, one shirt's gonna be like maybe 20, but I'd say 15 because you're like family at this. I mean, honestly, you're family at this point, so
Okay.
$15 a t-shirt probably.
We're streaming, by the way.
I know.
All right. So good to know.
I'm not worried about it.
We're talking merch, by the way, in the event that we start selling cafe T-shirts. So yeah, to see if anybody's interested. We'll come up with some designs and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, more than likely it'll be variations of having cafe logo. We've got 5 logos, so we have a basic one and 4 different seasonal ones, and might say like cafe patron on it. So gotta see if anybody's interested in it before we start talking any further on that.
Yeah, yeah, we probably should at this point.
But yeah, so
There you go.
okay, so I am going to be finishing The Witcher Blood of Elves today. Um, I'm going to need to be doing, I think Robin Hood is the next one because that's the one that was voted.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can check it real quick because in the Discord we have a section called Story Nook and Tome Suggestions. Yes, Merry Adventures of Robin Hood will be next because that is the one that was voted on almost exact. Holy fuck. That was a year and 10 days
Mm.
ago. Yeah. So I've already done The Princess Bride, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, and The Secret Garden. Now it's just the
Dying,
Merry Adventures of Robin Hood.
dying.
By the way, for those who are in the server, in Story Nook, there is the tomes. And you can go under the tome suggestions and put, hey yo, I want you to read this next. Make sure to go under the ones that are under Lorelei, please, if you're going to do that. Because those are the ones that I have. And as I am reading them, I am taking them off and putting them in the thread stories already read. And those are the ones I have read specifically. And if other people wish to have that stuff, um, I will add threads for them too. Um, but yeah, so sorry, distracted. I swear I might have. Hey, Metsu. I might have like slight ADHD or something like that. Just it presents
Slight.
differently in girls than it does in guys. So that's why it gets unrecognized or undiagnosed. But yeah, um That or it could be the amount of seizures I have. It just makes me go dee 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 sometimes. Hey, electric shock therapy does some wild shit to you.
I was
Yes,
just laughing at the dee dee dee.
yeah. By the way, that was me making a joke at my seizures.
I know.
Because the literal definition of epilepsy is a reoccurrence of seizures, which is an electric misfire of neurons in the brain. Y'all be tweaking. Yeah, and I don't even have.
Yeah, we tweak.
Actually, I can't even say I'm not on drugs. By the way, legal stuff. This is
I'm not.
prescription for epilepsy. By the way, I am I am medicated so I don't have seizures. Twitch, don't come at me, please.
I'm not on drugs. Ooh, I'm
I'm
stuck in
on vitamins
stuck in
and prescribed medication for my own well-being.
all I can think of is
Yeah, no.
getting ripped tonight.
Sagril can't take anything because it makes him zombie. So Sagril is
Zombie?
unmedicated, and it is very obvious that he is unmedicated.
I just don't take drugs.
Yeah, I don't take
Drugs?
drugs. I take medication.
Oh, that's all
Drug
I can hear in my head now is
drugs are
drugs.
illegal,
Yes.
and I don't take those. Those aren't good.
I mean, technically, everything is a quote drug.
Technically, any foreign
Because some are
substance
more
is a drug because
fair
it
point.
does, especially if it has a side effect of some sort or it has a thing. Hey, Bobo. Okay, Metsi, I need context.
Drugs. Yeah, I know. Insulin is a drug. You get
No,
it.
no,
I get it.
previous statement. What exactly is a hot ass?
I'm gonna guess
I'm not
like
prescribed for that one either. Or
I'm gonna
anxiety.
guess maybe like
Like a dick.
no
Are you playing Deep Rock
acid.
Galactic?
Why?
Because Steam just ratted you out?
I don't know what Steam is talking about.
I just got the notification.
Wait,
Tank Dozer is playing Deep Rock Galactic.
no, it didn't. No, 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 I'm not. Totally not. No,
Yeah, no, it totally ratted your ass out. All
very
right, so
fingers.
um, Tratter. Anyway, so you know what's funny? The name
Hmm.
Rience. I'm like, that's familiar. Yeah, no, he is actually in the third season
What of what?
of Witcher, and he
Oh,
was trying to obtain Ciri.
ah,
So this the first book here is kind of in line with the TV show slightly,
cool.
but it would be the third season is some of the crap that's going down because Dijkstra was in it too and pulling some of the crap. It's just like, I know, Metsu, I know, but you know what? It was the last season he was in, so I had to watch it, okay? You just I had to watch it for Henry Cavill. If he's gonna put up with that shit to give it one more season, I had to at least give it the I had to at least watch it. So
Need to
don't
get the
don't don't
stream.
come at me. I wasn't gonna watch it, but if he's actually gonna do it, yeah. So, but yeah, now that they're replacing him, yeah, I ain't watching it. Fourth season does not exist. Fourth season on doesn't exist. And I mean, it was pretty cool too, because Henry Cavill read all of the books, played all of the games multiple times, and showed up as I am the Witcher. I am Geralt of Rivia. And he
You
was
want to see some
so
cursed?
ripped that he actually kept destroying the leather outfit. And he kept doing
Could I
side quests.
could I show you two cursed images? Like excessively cursed images.
Oh God, what is it, Tank?
Give me 1 second. Let me get them.
That makes me worried. What are you doing?
Oh, a friend of mine sent me some absolutely absurdly cursed images, and I wish to share.
Okay.
Okay, they have been shared.
You need to send this to your other father and have no context. I
Both of them.
yeah, let's
Okay.
just put it this way, I can't put this on stream. So, anyway, if we decided to come out with merch like t-shirts or something, would any of you guys be interested? It'd probably be about 20 bucks.
I'm fevering one of them.
You're watering one of them?
Fevering one of them.
Yeah, whatever. You can have one of them. You're making them, so you can
I was gonna
have
say,
one.
considering I'm making them, I'm gonna get one.
What does that mean, Metsu? Unfortunately, I would have to charge for shipping. So depending on where
Yes,
you
true.
guys are, shipping would be an extra thing, and I'm sorry for that.
I genuinely didn't even think about shipping.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a thing where I'm I'm probably gonna have to be the one to come up with this because Sagral's so ding 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 everywhere. Um, Unmedicated ADHD, but that he is. I love him so much, but I am effectively the manager, so I will probably be coming
Yeah,
up with it.
you honestly are.
And no, no, he literally made me his manager. So, I probably will be
Well,
sitting
Mustard says
down and talking to.
talking with me.
What the fuck was that? Oh, what happened? The
What?
timer zeroed out. What happened? What was that?
Don't know. Don't ask me.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
I guess subathon's over. Nope. Tiger gave 2 subs.
Okay. Holy shit.
Wait, you know what that means, right?
It means tweet.
Yeah.
It means we're also 4 away from me playing DBD.
Yes, it is. Excitement.
So,
Don't make me make another tweet, please.
whoever puts it in chat, you can has it. Yeah, because I said timer zeroed out, so I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Which I'm going
Did
to.
Circle post the last one, by the way?
Did Sagro what?
Post the last one?
Honey, did it add the time to the timer since the timer's not going? Or do I have to manually. 12 minutes. What is 12 minutes?
In seconds?
Yeah, because I think I have to add
Hey
that.
Google, what's 12 minutes in
Oh,
seconds?
Sagro said it added.
720 seconds.
Okay, cool. Um,
Sagarot. Yeah, he beat me
Sagral's
to it.
actually paying attention. Yes, I called your ass out. I love you.
Yikes. It's 4:45 p.m. No, don't tell them that. They don't need to know my time.
I smell chaos. Yeah, literally 4 subs, and I will be playing DBD, which means when the 2v8 comes out, I will be participating. Do not apologize, Tiger, for the spook. It is worth it. You're
It's
amazing.
money.
Thank you. Hey, no, 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 no. We're I'm not counting it like that. Okay, let's. It is, but that's not what I was just. Thank you. Everything is appreciated. Tank, you're a little snot. Everything is
I'm your
appreciated.
kid.
Thank
What do
you
you expect?
again. The spook is worth it. This is Sagral's noises. So I'm just like, what? So
Eh?
I didn't know that that was one of Sagral's noises because like mine I don't know if I have
Mm.
that. I I
Maybe?
I mean, I guess. But yeah, thank you, Tiger. Why 48? What are you looking? Wait, hold on. What are you looking at? What's the one after me? Gender bent model for me is at 250. Just 48. Chat choice cooking, $100 max. Is that what you're trying to get?
I don't know about you, but it sounds pretty fun to me.
Ooh, that's cool. That's amazing, Tiger. And my brain hurts. I just got out of work. 69. 269. Really? You just want me to say nice, don't you? Motherfucker!
So, who wants to clip that up?
Sagar will do it. Trust me. Oh my god. Hold up. Look what you did, Tank! Look what you did! Alright,
I didn't do nothing.
Tiger with incoming pounce of spook. What do you mean? You're gonna do it again?
Amazing.
What does that mean? What does it mean? Tempted to go, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do about it?
Ah, you know what? If you spook me, it's fine. I'm out of work right now. I go into work tomorrow morning, so that's up to you. That's up to you. Shit, hold on. I don't have any of the trigger fire things on, so I need to go make sure I turn those off if Sagril didn't already, because I don't want y'all to waste your points. However, I can do the food, because I'm the one
Food,
that received them first.
food. I have some food.
Order it.
I can.
You don't got points?
I said I can.
Well, you gotta do one more sub to get 222. And I mean, if you want to, like, the Streamloot cards is an option, and it gives you the ability to absolutely mess with us. So, speaking of, Streamloots just popped up on the screen. As if almost I'm thinking about it. It's right over top of my head. Ooh.
Hmm.
But yeah, um, sorry, trying to collect my thoughts here. I am literally just got home, had a quick snack.
In other words, she's in chaos gremlin mode, guys.
No, I'm in like almost zoning out mode. Using up spoons, trying to function mode.
Using, using up spoons.
Yes. People who have mental issues tend to use the term spoons. We have a certain amount of spoons a day, and each task takes a spoon. Keys.
That's
That's another good
amazing.
option. So some tasks take one spoon, some of them take multiple spoons. Sometimes at work, like with coworkers, unless they actually make me happy and we are actually outside of work good friends, I don't smile. It takes energy. Most managers, I don't
Because
smile. And they're like, why aren't you smiling, Lorelai? You're not a customer. One of them got so pissed. I'm just like, how are you doing, Lorelai? All right. Why don't you say outstanding? 'Cause I don't like to lie. They had no response for that.
have they seen the tricks yet?
I swear to God, Sagril, you need to change that fucking shit, 'cause that's not me. How many was that? Errors. Marathon not. Okay, he did it. Okay. All right. Tiger wanted the two. Tiger has the two. Two
Two,
two
two, two.
two two. By the way, we need a tweet from somebody. Oh, excuse me. Wait, so that was one stream loot? Wait, hold on. So are these Twitch subs or are they stream loot subs?
Both.
No, no, I need to know because they're counted differently.
I have no clue.
So he subbed. He didn't buy a stream loot pack, or so were the first ones. So the three, are they stream loot packs or are they Twitch subs? One pack is half a sub.
Oh, that was hard. Oh, I hurt.
Okay, so Tiger, congrats! You are the first one to subscribe to our stream loot. So instead of buying packs, he did subscriptions.
What's the difference?
I have no clue because I've never done it. Oh, by the way, oh shit, gift subs to the community. Um, there are two that the
Woo!
community can claim. So if you guys go to our Streamloot page, you can claim the gift.
I can't because I already have a sub. Somebody gave me one.
So yeah, I did not know that that was a thing. So if you guys want to go ahead and I need to get the uh,
Now you know for the future. Woohoo.
I think this is the link. So if you guys go to there, there are excuse me, there are two left. So it says claim gift. I'm not gonna do it because I mean I'm part of the cafe, so yeah, no, not doing that. But y'all can. All right, and I mean, I'm just gonna turn. Oh, fuck. Should I turn Power Hour on or no? So, since we don't have those on, let me go ahead and gift him some cards. Cards, gift packs. Tigger of Norway. Do you want general or do you want gaming? Because I don't know how much longer the Subathon one's gonna go. Tiger. Yeah, you did subscriptions, you didn't buy packs. So, gaming or general? Oh, there's a way to fuck with us. Yay! Bonk. Wait, I didn't send enough. Bonk. Oh, he. Tigger of Norway. Dunk. There we go. There you go. You've got the equivalent packs. Alright, I'm gonna start reading now. Yay. Which means,
I'll be quiet.
honey, you turn on Power Hour when it's supposed to happen. Ugh.
Um, so
Yeah.
has he seen the images yet?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything. Honey, did you check your DMs? Okay. Hello, Soggy Water. Welcome to the cafe.
Grilled cheese.
I believe that's the Italian grilled cheese. The fuck is that? What was that?
Voice grill.
Fucking hell, no, I think that was Tiger.
What happened this
There's
time?
random shit Streamloots gives you for subscription.
Mm-hmm.
That I saw that was one of them. It's the Bobcat.
Okay.
Yeah, the Popcat. The pop 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 pop. You know the one where there's opens.
Yes.
You remember the what the hell was it during? I don't remember what month it was that I did
Nor do
the
I.
pixel art for it.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what the pocket is.
The fuck was I gonna do? Okay. Yeah. Grilled cheese. I
I don't think I have
remember.
any emotes for. I have wait this.
Italian grilled cheese. Here we go. Yeah, you're very welcome. Oh, no. It's well, I mean, I appreciate none of the sound ones because that's gonna. If I'm playing a video game, all bets are off. You can do that. But is anybody else gonna order anything also?
I hope you
Right.
get what I mean by that.
By the way, which menu is it on? It actually makes a difference.
The
Is it on the current menu or is it on the seasonal menu?
it's on the it's current one. It's the bacon the mac. Remember
Which
the one I
menu is
like
it on?
always get.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go find it. Never remember. Thankfully, you DM me all of your freaking menus.
Mhm. Well, Tank.
I need to pin that message. Hold on. I know you have a whole website for it. It is.
It's on the
Deeply
seasonal menu,
screwed.
so it's 800 points, my friend.
No, it's in the normal menu. The bacon Alfredo mac and cheese.
It's on the seasonal.
What's the seasonal?
Yeah, I literally just clicked on the seasonal menu. It's 800 points. Honey, you gotta.
What?
Yeah. So you gotta give Tank his points back, sweetheart.
No, I'll just do this.
What are you doing? Are you being an absolute troll? Okay, that was. $650. It's still 800 for the one.
But I can redeem that through it because it's that freaking. I've done it with Sagro before.
Yeah, when the menu was the current menu, but it is seasonal now.
Everything is pain.
No, seriously, it actually says it on there. See seasonal
Why?
menus here. Each item from these menus are 800 points, or the 800 point redeem.
I want to know what season that one is, though. What season is the bacon Alfredo mac?
Summer.
Because honestly, uh,
I think it's summer. Let me see.
I don't know what one it is, but bro, I would
Oh, it's on the spring
totally take
menu,
that.
dude. It's been seasonal forever.
You should
But
label the actual
I'll go
season.
ahead and give it to you because I gave uh the grilled cheese also.
Cool.
Because the grilled cheese is actually, I think it's the summer one.
I don't
I'm
I don't
tired right now. I don't care if you get.
I just don't know what you should label the menus as
I
like
did.
where
Click on the link and look under them. It says the title like Beltane Spring. It says it. It's not my fault you're not paying attention, booger.
because I was looking at the menus you actually sent me. Hello.
Okay, do the link then.
I probably should.
Yeah.
Eh.
Again, did not mention scare, but that was also.
By the way, so what's the name of the water?
No, we're not doing this. I'm not calling it that.
Okay, cool. You're not getting it. You have to
You're a
order it.
turd.
You have to order it right. If you want the water, you have to order it.
I want an enslaved moisture. Happy now?
Yes, very much so. I mean, that's why we have menus. It tells you what it is. Here we go. Here is your enslaved moisture, my son.
So weird.
It'd be soggy water. I like
Oh
that.
boy.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, Tiger, do I need to put you on the screen?
If you wish.
No, you don't have to.
All
Don't
right,
don't put Tiger on
Tigger,
the
where
screen.
on the screen are you? Get off the screen. Where the f I was about to say, where the
What
fuck
was
did you
that
go?
giggle, Tiger? That's like you gotta don't. That's weird. Don't do that.
He'll could do it again.
Weird.
All right. So you got some good stuff, Tiger?
Mm-hmm.
But by the way, if you destroy the cards, make the 5-minute ones, you'll get more than if you try to make the 15 or 30-minute. I know this from experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I keep that in mind. I keep that in mind.
That's if you're gonna do that.
These are noticed games that are on like the 14 and other ones. Mm. Mm. I keep an eye out though and see if I can use them for a little prank.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and all right, hold on. I got Tank. What did you send me?
I didn't send
You
anything.
pinned a message. Okay. I'm
I
like, what
pinned
the
a
fuck
message.
did you do? What did you do this time?
I'm always getting yelled at by my mother.
Oh boy.
Okay. So I shall get to watching or reading. I'm tired. I'll get to reading Witcher Blood of Elves. So we are almost done with it. We're right before chapter 7, which only has 7 chapters, and the chapters are massive. And then Sagrel yesterday, as I'm getting into chapter 6, like, oh yeah, by the way, he writes massive chapters.
Mm-hmm.
You could have told me that earlier, you turd. Okay. So Blanc Michelet groaned and curled up, clutching his riven belly. He felt the blood draining from him, flowing rapidly through his fingers. Not far from him lay Flavius. He had still been twitching a moment ago, but now he lay motionless. Toblanc squeezed his eyelids shut, then opened them. But the owl sitting next to Flavius was clearly not a hallucination. It did not disappear. He groaned again and turned his head away. Some wench, a young one judging by her voice, was screaming hysterically. "Let me go! There are wounded here! I've got to— I'm a medical student, Dandelion! Let me go! Do you hear?" "You can't help them," replied Dandelion in a dull voice. "Not after a witcher's sword. Don't even go there. Don't look. I beg you, Shani, don't look." Toblanc felt someone kneel next to him. He detected the scent of perfume and wet feathers. He heard a quiet, gentle, soothing voice. It was hard to make out the words. The annoying screams and sobs of the young wench interfered. Of that, the medical student. But if it was the medical student who was yelling, then who was kneeling next to him? Toblanc groaned. "Be all right. Everything will be all right. The son of a bitch," he muttered. "Rience. He told us. An ordinary fool. But it was a witcher. Ch help my guts. Quiet, quiet, my son. Keep calm. It's all right. It doesn't hurt any more. Isn't that right? It doesn't hurt. Tell me who called you up here. Who introduced you to Rience? Who recommended him? Who got you into this? Tell me, please, my son. And then everything will be all right. You'll see. It'll be all right. Tell me, please." Toblanc tasted blood in his mouth, but he did not have the strength to spit it out. His cheek pressed into the wet earth. He opened his mouth, and blood poured out. He no longer felt anything. "Tell me," the gentle voice kept repeating. "Tell me, my son." Toblanc Michelet, professional murderer since the age of 14, closed his eyes and smiled a bloodied smile and whispered what he knew. And when he opened his eyes, he saw a stiletto with a narrow blade and a tiny golden hilt. "Don't be frightened," said the gentle voice as the point of the stiletto touched his temple. "This won't hurt." Indeed, it did not hurt. He caught up with the sorcerer at the last moment, just in front of the portal. Having already thrown his sword aside, his hands were free, and his fingers, extended in a leap, dug into the edge of Rance's cloak. Rance lost his balance. The tug had bent him backwards, forcing him to totter back. He struggled ferociously, violently, ripped the cloak from clasp to clasp, and freed himself. Too late. Geralt spun him round, and hitting him in the shoulder with his right hand, then immediately struck him in the neck, under the ear with his left. Rience reeled, but did not fall. The Witcher, jumping softly, caught up with him, and forcefully dug his fist under his ribs. The sorcerer moaned, and drooped over the fist. Geralt grabbed him by the front of his doublet, spun him, and threw him to the ground. Pressed down by the Witcher's knee, Rience extended his arm, and opened his mouth to cast a spell. Geralt clenched his fist, and thumped him from above, straight in the mouth. His lips split like black currants. "You've already received a present from Yennefer," he muttered in a hoarse voice. "Now you're getting one from me." "Tank, you're in chat, you turd. Just say it." "It means you gotta drink too." "You too, Tiger." He struck once more. The sorcerer's head bounced up. Blood spurted into the Witcher's forehead and cheeks. Geralt was slightly surprised. He had not felt any pain, but had, no doubt, been injured in the fight. It was his blood. He did not bother, nor did he have time to look for the wound and take care of it. He unclenched his fist and walloped Rience once more. He was angry. Who sent you? Who hired you? Rience spat blood at him. The Witcher struck him yet again. Who? The fiery oval of the portal flared more strongly. The light emanating from it flooded the entire lane. The Witcher felt the power throbbing from the oval, had felt it even before his medallion had begun to oscillate violently in warning. Rience also felt the energy streaming from the portal, sensed help approaching. He yelled, struggling like an enormous fish. Geralt buried his knees in the sorcerer's chest, raised his arm, forming the sign of Ard with his fingers, and aimed at the flaming portal. It was a mistake. No one emerged from the portal. Only power radiated from it, and Rience had taken the power. From the sorcerer's outstretched fingers grew 6-inch steel spikes. They dug into Geralt's chest and shoulder with an audible crack. Energy exploded from the spikes. The Witcher threw himself backwards in a convulsive leap. The shock had struck. The shock was such that he felt and heard his teeth clench in pain, crunch, and break. At least two of them. Rience attempted to rise, but immediately collapsed to his knees again and began to struggle to the portal on all fours. Geralt, catching his breath with difficulty, drew a stiletto from his boot. The sorcerer looked back, sprung up, and reeled. The Witcher was also reeling, but he was quicker. Rience looked back again and screamed. Geralt gripped the knife. He was angry, very angry. Something grabbed him from behind, overpowered him, immobilized him. The medallion on his neck pulsated acutely. The pain in his wounded shoulder throbbed spasmodically. Some 10 paces behind him stood Philippa Eilhart. From her raised arms emanated a dull light. 2 streaks, 2 rays. Both were touching his back, squeezing his arms with luminous pliers. He struggled in vain. He could not move from the spot. He could only watch as Rience staggered up to the portal, which pulsated with a milky glow. Rience, in no hurry, slowly stepped into the light of the portal, sank into it like a diver, blurred, and disappeared. A second later, the oval went out, for a moment plunging the little street into impenetrable, dense, velvety blackness. Somewhere in the lanes fighting cats yowled. Geralt looked at the blade of the sword he had picked up on his way towards the magician. Why, Philippa? Why did you do it? The magician took a step back. She was still holding the knife, which a moment earlier had penetrated to Blanc Michelet's skull. Why are you asking? You know perfectly well. Yes, he agreed. Now I know. You're wounded, Geralt. You can't feel the pain because you're intoxicated with the Witcher's elixir, but look how you're bleeding. Have you calmed down sufficiently for me to safely approach and take a look at you? Bloody hell, don't look at me like that. And don't come near me. One more step and I'll be forced to. Don't come near me. Please. I don't want to hurt you, but if you come near— Philippa! Shouted Dandelion, holding the weeping Shani. Have you gone mad? No, said the Witcher with some effort. She's quite sane, and knows perfectly well what she's doing. She knew all along what she was doing. She took advantage of us, betrayed us, deceived. Calm down, repeated Philippa Eilhart. You won't understand, and you don't have to understand. I did what I had to do. And don't call me a traitor, because I did this precisely so as not to betray a cause which is greater than you can imagine. A great and important cause, so important that minor matters have to be sacrificed for it without second thoughts, if faced with such a choice. Geralt, damn it, we're nattering and you're standing in a pool of blood. Calm down and let Shani and me take care of you. She's right, shouted Dandelion. You're wounded, damn it. Your wound has to be dressed, and we've got to get out of here. You can argue later. You and your great cause. The Witcher, ignoring the troubadour, staggered forward. Your great cause, Philippa, and your choice, is a wounded man, stabbed in cold blood once, he told you what you wanted to know. But what I want wasn't to find out. Your great cause is Rience, whom you allowed to escape so that he wouldn't by any chance reveal the name of his patron, so that he can go on murdering. Your great cause is those corpses, which did not have to be. Sorry, I expressed myself poorly. They're not corpses. They're minor matters. I knew you wouldn't understand. Indeed, I don't. I never will. But I do know what it's about. Your great causes, your wars, your struggle to save the world, your end which justifies the means. Prick up your ears, Philippa.
I
Can't you
tried to
hear those
stop him. I tried
voices?
to stop him. He merely responded with, "Fuck the police."
Which one of you did it?
Not me.
It would be Eric.
Or is in the middle of reading. Yep.
Not while I'm reading. While I'm reading, do not use the soundboard. I have no problem kicking you from my chat. Hello, everyone. If you guys come in here, you are to sit here quietly while I'm reading. Unless I open it up and say, "Hi, how's it going?" and we start a conversation. And to those who are remaining quiet while I am reading, thank you. I do appreciate it. Oh my lord. Yeah, you had to go there, didn't you, Tank?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my lord. I appreciate it, Tiger. I am trying to finish the book so Sagrel can play games, damn it. Because I know
I had
that's what
to.
people really want to see. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry. I'm sorry, Lair, but I had to. When it happened, I had to do it.
I'm aware. I well,
I still enjoy.
um, I will I will try to read every day then. Um, thank you. Say the next book is the heck. I'm having issues. I have a lot of issues. Um, Robin Hood and Merry Men. I think that's what it is. It was the one that was voted on
Man,
last
man,
year.
man.
You know what? If I had those books, if I had that book,
I would so
I
want you to
would
read
read
it. I
it.
would so want you to read it. It's such a good movie.
It is.
Not to mention, such a good book.
Which one is it? The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood is the next book. Um, after this one. It's okay. You're good, Amar. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I am not functioning on full cylinders because I got out at
Tired.
3:30 and I started stream an hour later. So,
It's called Being Tired
yeah. Oh my
and
God, they
having
were
no
playing
patience.
Christmas music and I didn't hear any of it today. I was so focused.
Well, that's good. At least you didn't hear any of it.
No, I meant as in it was I phased it out.
Yeah, I said that's why I said it's good because you don't like Christmas music.
No, I do like Christmas music.
At this time of the season, I should specify.
I mean, I have actually been singing to it, but sometimes it is a bit early. And I have had exactly one eggnog, because I don't want to have too many.
Isn't eggnog just like bubblegum flavored thick water?
I honestly don't know what it is, but I do know it used to be made with raw eggs and alcohol.
Is that how people describe eggnog? What the?
I don't know what eggnog is. I've never had it.
I don't know what it is. There are some things I try not to think about. And
Without
with
making me
something
think
that
about it.
consistency, it's one of the things I try not to think about. Because sometimes
I've
when
been
you
told
know, it
you'd
doesn't,
never want to
it's
know.
not appealing anymore.
I've been told that it tastes like bubblegum,
No,
so
it does not.
no, okay.
It does. Big Red tastes like bubblegum.
Big red. Oh, the gum?
No, the soda.
Oh, I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, it's a brand of soda. It's called Big Red. It comes in a red can. Um, it tastes like bubblegum. I can have one maybe a year, but I usually have one. I had one last year. It was about 10 years prior that I'd had one before that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not so I'll take one if offered, but I will not actively seek it out.
Understandable.
Gonna go and get my water bottle.
Yeah, I'm still sitting here with the gamer subs. Like
I need
every
to get
time,
some of that.
dude, it's actually pretty good.
I've also been told that it might help me sleep.
I don't know about
There's a
that.
there's a one of the versions that it has on there is a sleeping one.
Uh-huh.
So it has I don't remember it's like
Probably melatonin.
no, it's not magnesium, but it's something along that line that actually reacts with your own melatonin and strengthens it.
You know,
So I want to
chai can
see if
help you
that
sleep.
works. I've tried chamomile.
Chai,
I've soaked in a bath of chamomile.
chai.
It's chai is another word for tea.
It's a different one.
I've
Chamomile and
I've
chai are
tried
two different teas.
I've tried tea stuff before. Then I literally soaked in a bath of tea before. Didn't work. And I've also taken 300 milligrams of melatonin and it didn't touch me.
Hmm.
That's why I want to see if that drink helps.
Yeah. You
I'm
know what I
back.
want to try?
Hmm.
Grandpa's ashes. Turns your water black.
For a second there, I froze and I thought about what you said. Um,
Humans can eat catnip?
yeah,
Did
so
not
can
know that
dogs.
one.
Um, I had to pause for a second and think about what you said you wanted to
It's a
try
gamer subs
Grandpa's
flavor.
ashes.
That's what you made
I,
him.
Mhm.
I got that afterwards, but the first thing that I thought of was my grandfather's box.
My grandfather was buried.
Mine was cremated. Oh, dude, cremation is still freaking expensive.
Not as much as burial.
No, cremation is cheaper than burial, which
Yep.
is absolutely absurd.
By about maybe 10,000.
Honestly, roughly around there, yeah.
Yeah. Mom was cremated. So was one of the dogs. I have the dog's ashes. After she passed, I was given the ashes of the dog.
Good to know, Mar. I'll try to do that.
I think she's talking about catnip.
I, I will try catnip if it makes me sleep.
Be funny if they react like a cat does.
Yeah, I'd get high off a catnip. Yeah, right.
That would be pretty funny to see, though.
so she was talking about all of them.
Oh my god, Matsu actually clipped it.
What?
Hmm?
Nice. That was when Matsu wants to get me to 269 subs.
Oh, sure enough, it's right there.
Just so that way when it either we hit it when either I'm doing it or when either Sagral's here, one of us will be like, nice.
Hey, you just did it.
Yeah, he's just like, we just need 48 subs. I'm like, why? His math was beyond me at the time, and I'm just like, I did math, and I'm like, oh, heh. Oh, it's not 48. It's actually 47 now.
21 plus
Hold
47
on, hold on.
would equal 68.
Do it again.
Oh, I see.
Eh.
Then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not very much. I'm not very often. Alright. Indeed, I don't. I never will. But I do know what it's about. Your great causes, your wars, your struggle to save the world, your end which justifies the means. Prick up your ears, Philippa. Can you hear those voices, that yowling? Those are cats fighting for the great cause. For invisible mastery over a heap of rubbish. It's no joking matter. Blood is being spilled and clumps of fur are flying. It's war. But I care incredibly little about either of these wars. The cats, or yours. It's only what you imagine, hissed the magician. All this is going to start concerning you, and sooner than you think. You're standing before necessity and choice. You've got yourself mixed up in destiny, my dear, far more than you've bargained for. You thought you were taking a child, a little girl, into your care. You are wrong. You've taken in a flame which could at any moment set the world alight. Our world. Yours, mine, that of the others. And you will have to choose, like I did, like Triss Marigold. Choose, as your Yennefer had to, because Yennefer has already chosen. Your destiny is in her hands, Witcher. You placed it in those hands yourself. The Witcher staggered. Shani yelled and tore herself away from Dandelion. Geralt held her back with a gesture, stood upright, and looked straight into the dark eyes of Philippa Eilhart. My destiny, he said with effort. My choice. I'll tell you, Philippa, what I've chosen. I won't allow you to involve Ciri in your dirty machinations. I'm warning you. Whoever desires harm, or whoever dares harm Ciri will end up like those four lying there. I won't swear an oath. I have nothing by which to swear. I simply warn you. You accursed. You accused me of being a bad guardian, that I don't know how to protect the child. I will protect her, as best I can. I will kill. I will kill mercilessly. I believe you, said the magician with a smile. I believe you will. But not today, Geralt. Not now, because in a minute you're going to faint from blood loss. Shani, are you ready? I'm going to tell you something, said Iola the Second suddenly, resting the basket of grain on her hip. There's going to be a war. That's what the dukes, Grieve, who came to fetch the cheeses, said. A war? Ciri shoved her hair back from her forehead. With who? Nilfgaard? I didn't hear, the novice admitted, but the Grieve said our duke had received orders from King Foltest himself. He's sending out a call to arms, and all the roads are swarming with soldiers. Oh dear, what's going to happen? If there's going to be a war, said Ernid, then it'll be certainly with Nilfgaard. Who else? Again. Oh gods, it's terrible. Alright, everyone fight. Vibe check. Get a drink, adjust your posture, stretch. Thank you, Tiger.
You're welcome.
You also like saved my voice multiple times last night too.
Hmm?
I think you were the one that did vibe check most of the time last night for me.
Oh. Ooh.
Aren't you exaggerating a bit with this war, Iola? Siri scattered some grains for the chickens and guinea hens, crowding around in a busy, noisy whirl. Maybe it's only another raid on the Scoia'tael. Mother Naneke asked the Grieve the same thing, declared Iola II, and the Grieve said that no, this time it wasn't about the squirrels. Castles and citadels have apparently been ordered to store supplies in case of a siege. But elves attack in forests. They don't lay siege to castles. The Grieve asked whether the temple could give more cheese and other things for the castle stores, and he demanded goose feathers. They need a lot of goose feathers, he said, for arrows, to shoot from bows, you understand. Oh gods, we're going to have masses of work. You'll see, we'll be up to our ears in work. Not all of us, said Yrnid scathingly. Some aren't going to get their little hands dirty. Some of us only work 2 days a week. They don't have any time for work because they are apparently studying witchery. But in actual fact, they're probably only idling or skipping around the park, thrashing weeds with a stick. You know who I'm talking about, Siri, don't you? Siri will leave for the war, no doubt, giggled Iola II. After all, she is apparently the daughter of a knight, and herself a great warrior with a terrible sword. At least she'll be able to cut real heads off instead of nettles. No, she's a powerful wizard. Ernid wrinkled her little nose. She's going to change all our enemies into field mice. Siri, show us some amazing magic. Make yourself invisible, or make the carrots ripen quicker. Or do something so that the chickens can feed themselves. Well, go on. Don't make us ask. Cast a spell. Magic isn't for show, said Siri angrily. Magic is not some street market trick. But of course, laughed the novice. Not for show. Eh, Iola? It's exactly as if I were hearing that hag, Yennefer, talk. Siri is getting more and more like her, appraised Iola, sniffing ostentatiously. She even smells like her. Huh, no doubt some magical scent made of mandrake or ambergris. Do you use magical scents, Siri? No, I use soap, something you rarely use. Oh-ho! Yrnid twisted her lips. What sarcasm, what spite, and what airs! She never used to be like this. Iola II puffed up. She became like this when she started spending time with that witch. She sleeps with her, eats with her, doesn't leave her side. She's practically stopped attending lessons at the temple and no longer has a moment to spare for us. That's the way it is, squeaked Siri. Some have brains, so they get a book. Others are feather-brained, so they get a broom. And you only use a broom for flying, don't you? Pathetic wizard. You're stupid. Stupid yourself. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Oh, come on, Iola. Don't pay attention to her. Sorceresses are not our sort of company. Of course they aren't, yelled Siri, and threw a basket of grain on the ground. Chickens are your sort of company. The novices turned up their noses and left, passing through the horde of cackling fowl. Siri cursed loudly, repeating a favorite saying of Vesemir's, which she did not entirely understand. Then she added a few words she had heard Yarpen Zigrin use, the meanings of which were a total mystery to her. With a kick, she dispersed the chickens swarming towards the scattered grain, picked up the basket, turned it upside down, then twirled in a witcher's pirouette, and threw the basket like a discus over the reed roof of the hen house. She turned on her heel and set off through the temple park at a run. She ran lightly, skillfully controlling her breath. At every other tree she passed, she made an agile half-turn leap, marking slashes with an imaginary sword, and immediately followed them with dodges and feints she had learned. She jumped deftly over the fence, landing surely and softly on bent knees. Jar, she shouted, turning her head up towards a window, gaping at the stone wall of the tower. Jer, are you there? Hey, it's me. Siri, the boy leaned out. What are you doing here? Can I come up to see you? Now? Well, all right then. Please do. She flew up the stairs like a hurricane, catching the novice unexpectedly just as, with his back turned, he was quickly adjusting his clothes and hiding some parchments on the table under other parchments. Jer ran his fingers through his hair, cleared his throat, and bowed awkwardly. Siri slipped her thumbs into her belt and tossed her ashen fringe. What's this war everyone's talking about? She fired. I want to know. Please, have a seat. She cast her eyes around the chamber. There were 4 large tables piled with large books and scrolls. There was only one chair, also piled high. War? Mumbled Jer. Yes, I've heard those rumors. Are you interested in it? You, a No, don't sit on the table, please. I only just got all the documents in order. Sit on the chair. Just a moment, wait. I'll take those books. Does Lady Yennefer know that you're here? No? Or Mother Naneke? Siri pulled a face. She knew what he meant. The 16-year-old Jer was the High Priestess's ward, being prepared by her to be a cleric and chronicler. He lived in Elander, where he worked as a scribe at the municipal tribunal, where he spent more time in Melitele's sanctuary than in the town, studying, copying, and illuminating volumes in the temple library for whole days and sometimes even nights. Ciri had never heard it from Neneke's lips, but it was well known that the High Priestess absolutely did not want Jer to hang around her young novices, and vice versa. But the novices, however, did sneak keen glances at the boy and chatted freely, discussing the various possibilities presented by the presence on the temple grounds of something which wore trousers. Ciri was amazed because Jer was the exact opposite of everything which, in her eyes, should represent an attractive male. In Cintra, as she remembered, an attractive man was one whose head reached the ceiling, whose shoulders were as broad as a doorway, who swore like a dwarf, roared like a buffalo, and stank at 30 paces of horses, sweat, and beer, regardless of what time of day or night it was. Men who did not correspond to this description were not recognized by Queen Calenthe's chambermaids as worthy of size and gossip. Ciri had also seen a number of different men. The wise and gentle druids of Angren, the tall and gloomy settlers of Sodden, the witchers of Kaer Morhen. Jer was different. He was as skinny as a stick insect, ungainly, wore clothes which were too large, and smelled of ink and dust, always had greasy hair, and on his chin, instead of stubble, there were 7 or 8 long hairs, about half of which sprang from a large wart. Truly, Ciri did not understand why she was so drawn to Jer's tower. She enjoyed talking to him. The boy knew a great deal, and she could learn much from him. But recently, when he looked at her, his eyes had a strange, dazed and cloying expression. Well, she grew impatient, are you going to tell me or not? There's nothing to say. There isn't going to be any war. It's all gossip. Aha, she snorted. And so the Duke is sending out a call to arms just for fun? The army is marching the highways out of boredom? Don't twist things, Jer. You visit the town and castle. You must know something. Why don't you ask Lady Yennefer about it? Lady Yennefer has more important things to worry about. Ciri spat, but then immediately had second thoughts, smiled pleasantly, and fluttered her eyelashes. Oh, Jer, tell me, please. You're so clever. You can talk so beautifully and learnedly. I could listen to you for hours. Please, Jer. The boy turned red, and his eyes grew unfocused and bleary. Ciri sighed surreptitiously. Jer shuffled from foot to foot and moved his arms undecidedly, evidently not knowing what to do with them. What can I tell you? It's true, people are gossiping in town, all excited by the events of Dol Angra. But there isn't going to be a war, that's for sure. You can believe me. Of course I can, she snorted. But I'd rather know what you base this certainty on. You don't sit on the Duke's council, as far as I know. And if you were made a voivode yesterday, then do tell me about it. I'll congratulate you. I study historical treatises, Jared turned crimson, and one can learn from them about sitting on a council. I've read The History of War by Marshal Pellegrim, Duc de Ruyter's Strategy, Bonnebar's The Victorious Deeds of Verdania's Gallant Cavalrymen, and I know enough about the present political situation to be able to draw conclusions through analogy. Do you know what an analogy is? Of course, lied Siri, picking a blade of grass from the buckle of her shoe. If the history of past wars, the boy stared at the ceiling, were to be laid over present political geography, it is easy to gauge that minor border incidents, such as the one in Dol Angra, were fortuitous and insignificant. You, as a student of magic, must, no doubt, be acquainted with the present political geography. Siri did not reply. Lost in thought, she skimmed through the parchments lying on the table and turned a few pages of the huge leather-bound volume. Leave that alone. Don't touch it. Jer was worried. It's an exceptionally valuable and unique work. I'm not going to eat it. Your hands are dirty. They're cleaner than yours. Listen, do you have any maps here? I do, but they're hidden in a chest, the boy said quickly, but seeing Siri pull a face, he sighed, pushed the scrolls of parchment off the chest, lifted the lid, and started to rummage through the contents. Siri, wriggling in the chair and swinging her legs, carried on flicking through the book. Fr- from between the pages suddenly slipped a loose page with a picture of a woman, completely naked, with her hair curled into ringlets, entangled in an embrace with a completely naked, bearded man. Her tongue sticking out, the girl spent a long time turning the etching around, unable to make out which way up it should be. She finally spotted the most important detail in the picture and giggled. Jer, walking up with an enormous scroll under his arm, blushed violently, took the etching from her without a word, and hid it under the papers strewn across the table. An exceptionally valuable and unique work, she gibed. Are those the analogies you're studying? Are there any more pictures like that in there? Interesting. The book called Healing and Curing. I like to know what diseases are cured that way. You can read the first runes? The boy was surprised and cleared his throat with embarrassment. I didn't know. There's still a lot you didn't know. She turned up her nose. And what do you think? I'm not just some novice feeding hens for eggs. I am a wizard. Well, go on. Show me that map. They both knelt on the floor, holding the stiff sheet, which was stubbornly trying to roll up again, with their hands and knees. Siri finally weighed down one corner with a chair leg, and Jer pressing down with a hefty book entitled The Life and Deeds of Great King Radovid. Radovid. The map is so unclear. I can't make head or tail of it. Where are we? Where is Elander? Here, he pointed. Here is Temeria, this space. Here is Wyzima, our King Foltest's capital. Here, in Ponterre Valley, lies the Duchy of Elander. And here, yes, here is our temple. And where's this lake? There aren't any lakes around here. That isn't a lake, it's an ink blot. Ah, and here, this is Sintra, is that right? Yes, south of Trans River and Sodden. This way, here, flows the river Yaruga, flowing into the sea right at Sintra. That country, I don't know if you know, is now dominated by the Nilfgaardians. I do know, she cut him short, clenching her fist. I know very well. And I know. And where is Nilfgaard? I can't see a country like that here. Does it fit on the map of yours, or what? Get me a bigger one. Jarrus scratched the wart on his chin. I don't have any maps like that, but I do know that Nilfgaard is somewhere further towards the north. There, more or less there, I think. So far? Siri was surprised, her eyes fixed on the place on the floor which he indicated. They've come all the way from there? And on the way conquered those other countries? Yes, that's true. They conquered Metina, Match, Nazir, Ebbing, all the kingdoms south of the Amel Mountains. Those kingdoms, like Sintra and Upper Sodden, the Nilfgaardians now call the provinces, but they didn't manage to dominate Lower Sodden, Verden, and Brugge. Here, on the Ruga, the armies of the Four Kingdoms held them back, defeating them in battle. I know, I studied history. Ciri slapped the map with her open palm. Well, Jer, tell me about the war. We're kneeling on political geography. Draw conclusions through analogy and through anything you like. I'm all ears. The boy blushed, then started to explain, pointing to the appropriate regions on the map with the tip of a quill. At present, the border between us and the south, dominated by Nilfgaard, is demarcated, as you can see, by the Yaruga River. It constitutes an obstacle which is practically insurmountable. It hardly ever freezes over, and during the rainy season it can carry so much water that its bed is almost a mile wide. For a long stretch here it flows between precipitous, inaccessible banks between the rocks of Maakam, the land of dwarves and gnomes? Yes, and so the Yaruga can only be crossed here, in its lower reaches, in Sodden, and here, in its middle reaches, in the valley of Dol Angra. And it was exactly in Dol Angra that incident? Wait, I'm just explaining it to you that, at the moment, no army could cross the Yaruga River, both accessible valleys, those along which armies have marched for centuries, are very heavily manned and defended, both by us and by Nilfgaard. Look at the map. Look how many strongholds there are. See, here in Verden, here is Brugge, and here the Isles of Skellige. And this, what is this? This huge white mark. Jer moved closer. She felt the warmth of his knee. Brocklin Forest, he said, is forbidden territory. The kingdom of forest dryads. Brocklin also defends our flank. The dryads won't let anyone pass. The Nilfgaardians either. Ciri leaned over the map. Here is Eidern, and the town of Vengerberg. Jer, stop that immediately. The boy abruptly pulled his lips away from her hair and went as red as a beetroot. I do not wish you to do that to me. Ciri, I came to you with a serious matter, as a wizard to a scholar, she said icily with dignity, in a tone of voice which exactly copied that of Yennefer. So behave. The scholar blushed an even deeper shade, and had such a stupid expression on his face that the wizard could barely keep herself from laughing. He leaned over the map once more. All this geography of yours, she continued, hasn't led to anything yet. You're telling me about the Yaruga River, but the Nilfgaardians have, after all, already crossed to the other side once. What's stopping them now? Hey, Cloudy. That time, Hawkjar, wiping the sweat which had all of a sudden appeared on his brow. They only had Brugge, Sodden, and Temeria against them. Now we're united in an alliance. Like at the Battle of Sodden, the four kingdoms, Temeria, Redania, Aedirn, and Caedwyn. Caedwyn, said Ciri proudly. Yes, I know what that alliance is based on. King Henselt of Caedwyn offers special, secret aid to King Demawend of Aedirn. That aid is transported in barrels, and when King Demawend suspects someone of being a traitor, he puts stones in the barrels, sets a trap. She broke off, recalling that Geralt had forbidden her to mention the events in Caedwyn. Jar stared at her suspiciously. Is that so? And how can you know all that? I read about it in a book written by Marshal Pelican, she snorted, and in other analogies. Tell me about what happened in Dol Angra, or whatever it's called, but first, show me where it is. Here, Dol Angra is a wide valley, a route leading from the south to the kingdoms of Lera and Rivia, to Aedirn, and farther to Dol Blethanna and Caedwyn, and through Pontar Valley to us, to Temeria. And what happened there? There was fighting, apparently. I don't know much about it, but that's what they're saying at the castle. If there was fighting, frowned Ciri, there's a war already. So what are you talking about? It's not the first time there's been fighting, clarified Jer. But the girl saw that he was less and less sure of himself. Incidents at the border are very frequent, but they're insignificant. And how come? The forces are balanced. Neither we nor the Nilfgaardians can do anything, and neither of the sides can give their opponent a casus belli. Give what? A reason for war. Understand? That's why the armed incidents in Dol Angra are most certainly fortuitous matters, probably attacks by brigands or skirmishes with smugglers. In no way can they be the work of regular armies, neither ours nor those of Nilfgaard, because that would be precisely a casus belli. Aha, Jar, tell me. She broke off. She raised her head abruptly, quickly touched her temples with her fingers, and frowned. I've got to go, she said. Lady Yennefer is calling me. You can hear her? The boy was intrigued. At a distance? How? I've got to go, she repeated, getting to her feet and brushing the dust off her knees. Listen, Jar. I'm leaving with Lady Yennefer on some very important matters. I don't know when we'll be back. I warn you that they are secret matters which concern only wizards, so don't ask questions. Jar also stood up. He adjusted his clothes, but still did not know what to do with his hands. His eyes glazed over sickeningly. Ciri? What? I I I don't know what you're talking about, she said impatiently, glaring at him with her huge emerald eyes. Nor do you, obviously. I'm off. Take care, Jar. Goodbye. Ciri. Have a safe journey. I'll be thinking of you. Ciri sighed. I'm here, Lady Yennefer. She flew into the chamber like a shot from a catapult, and the door thumped open, slamming against the wall. She could have broken her legs on the stool, standing in her way, but Ciri jumped over it deftly, gracefully executed a half pirouette, feinting the slash of a sword, and joyfully laughed at her successful trick. Despite running briskly, she did not pant but breathed evenly and calmly. She had mastered breath control to perfection. I'm here, she repeated. At last. Get undressed and into the tub. Quick. The enchantress did not look round, did not turn away from the table, looked at Ciri in the mirror. Slowly. She combed her damp black curls, which straightened under the pressure of the comb, only to spring back a moment later into shiny waves. The girl unbuckled her boots in a flash, kicked them off, freed herself of her clothes, and with a splash landed in the tub. Grabbing the soap, she started to energetically scrub her forearms. Yennefer sat motionlessly, staring at the window and toying with her comb. Ciri snorted, sputtering and spat because soap had got into her mouth. She tossed her head, wondering whether a spell existed which could make washing possible without water, soap, and wasting time. The magician put the comb aside, but, lost in thought, kept gazing through the window at the swarms of ravens and crows, croaking horrifically as they flew past. On the table, next to the mirror, an impressive array of bottled cosmetics, lay several letters. Ciri knew that Yennefer had been waiting for them a long time, and that the day on which they were to leave the temple depended on her receiving these letters. In spite of what she had told Ger, the girl had no idea where and why they were leaving, but in those letters. Splashing with her left hand, so as to mislead, she arranged the fingers in her right in a gesture, concentrated on a formula, fixed her eyes on the letters, and sent out an impulse. Don't you even dare, said Yennefer, without turning around. I thought, she cleared her throat, I thought one of them might be from Geralt. If it was, I'd have given it to you. The magician turned her in her chair and sat facing her. Are you going to be long washing? I've finished. Get up, please. Ciri obeyed. Yennefer smiled faintly. Yes, she said. You've finished with childhood. You've rounded out where necessary. Lower your hands. I'm not interested in your elbows. Well, well, don't blush. No false shyness. It's your body, the most natural thing in the world, and the fact that you're developing is just as natural. If your fate had turned out differently, if it weren't for the war, you'd have long been the wife of some duke or prince. You realize that, don't you? We've discussed matters concerning your gender often enough, and in enough detail for you to know that you're already a woman. Physiologically, that is to say. Surely you've not forgotten what we're talked about. No, I haven't. When you visit Jer, I hope there aren't any problems with your memory either. Ciri lowered her eyes, but only momentarily. Yennefer did not smile. Dry yourself and come here, she said coolly. No splashing, please. Wrapped in a towel, Ciri sat down on the small chair at the magician's knees. Yennefer brushed the girl's hair, every now and again snipping off a disobedient wisp with a pair of scissors. Are you angry with me? Asked the girl reluctantly. For going to the tower? No, but Anneke doesn't like it. You know that. But I don't care about Jer in the least. Ciri blushed a little. I only... Exactly, muttered the enchantress. You only. Don't play the child, because you're not one any more. Let me remind you. That boy slobbers and stammers at the sight of you. Can't you see that? It's not my fault. What am I supposed to do? Yennefer stopped combing Ciri's hair and measured her with a deep violet gaze. Don't toy with him. It's base. But I'm not toying with him. I'm only talking with him. I'd like to believe, the enchantress said as she snipped her scissors, cutting yet another wisp of hair which could not allow itself to be styled for anything in the world, that during these conversations you remember what I asked you. I remember, I remember. He's an intelligent and bright boy. One or two inadvertent words could lead him on the right track, to matters he should know nothing about. No one, absolutely no one, must find out who you are. I remember, repeated Ciri. I haven't squealed a word to anyone. You can be sure of that. Tell me, is that why we have to leave so suddenly? Are you afraid that someone's going to find out that I'm here? Is that why? No. There are other reasons. Is it because there might be a war? Everybody's talking about another war. Everybody's talking about it, Lady Yennefer. Indeed, the magician confirmed coolly, snipping her scissors just above Ciri's ear. It's a subject which belongs to the so-called interminable category. There's been talk about wars in the past. There is talk now, and there always will be, and not without reason. There have been wars, and there will be wars. Lower your head. Jer said that there's not going to be a war with Nilfgaard. He spoke of some sort of analogies, showed me a map. I don't know what to think myself anymore. I don't know what these analogies are. Probably something terribly clever. Jer reads various learned books and knows it all, but I think it interests me what you think, Ciri. In Cintra, that time, Lady Yennefer, my grandmother was much cleverer than Jer. King Iced was clever too. He sailed the seas, saw everything, even a narwhal and sea serpent, and I bet he also saw many an analogy. And so what? Suddenly they appeared, the Nilfgaardians. Ciri raised her head, and her voice stuck in her throat. Yennefer put her arms around her and hugged her tightly. Unfortunately, she said quietly, unfortunately, you're right, my ugly one. If the ability to make use of experience and draw conclusions decided, we would have forgotten what war is a long time ago. But those whose goal is war have never been held back, nor will be, by experience or analogy. So it's true, after all. There's going to be a war. Is that why we have to leave? Let's not talk about it. Let's not worry so soon. Ciri sniffed. I've already seen a war, she whispered. I don't want to see another. Never. I don't want to be alone again. I don't want to be frightened. I don't want to lose everything again, like that time. I don't want to lose Geralt. Or you, Lady Yennefer. I don't want to lose you. I want to stay with you, and him. Always. You will. The magician's voice trembled a little. And I'm going to be with you, Ciri. Always. I promise you. Ciri sniffed again. Yennefer coughed quietly, put down the scissors and comb, got to her feet, and crossed over to the window. The ravens were croaking in their flight toward the mountain. When I arrived here, the lady magician suddenly said in her usual melodious, slightly mocking voice, when we first met, you didn't like me. Ciri did not say anything. On our first meeting, she thought, I remember. I was in the grotto with the other girls. Rosvitha was showing us plants and herbs. Then Iola the First came in and whispered something in Rosvitha's ear. The priestess grimaced with animosity. and Iola the First came up to me with a strange expression on her face. Get yourself together, Siri, she said, and go to the refectory. Quick. Mother Naneke is summoning you. Someone has arrived. Strange, meaningful glances, excitement in their eyes, and whispers. Yennefer. Magician Yennefer. Quick, Siri, hurry up. Mother Naneke is waiting, and she is waiting. I knew immediately, thought Siri, that it was her, because I'd seen her. I'd seen her the night before, in my dream. Her. I didn't know her name then. She didn't say anything in my dream. She only looked at me, and behind her, in the darkness, I saw a closed door. Siri sighed. Yennefer turned, and the obsidian star on her neck glittered like with 1,000 reflections. You're right, admitted the girl seriously, looking straight into the magician's violet eyes. I didn't like you. Siri, said Naneke, come closer. This is Lady Yennefer from Vengerberg, mistress of wizardry. Don't be frightened. Lady Yennefer knows who you are. You can trust her. The girl bowed, interlocking her palms in a gesture of full respect. The enchantress, rustling her long black dress, approached, took Siri by the chin, and quite offhandedly lifted her head, turned it right and left. The girl felt anger and rebellion rising within her. She was not used to being treated this way, and at the same time she experienced a burning envy. Yennefer was very beautiful. Compared to the delicate, pale, and rather common comeliness of the priestesses and novices who Siri saw every day, the magician glowed with a conscious, even demonstrative loveliness, emphasized and accentuated in every detail. Her raven-black locks, cascading down her shoulders, shone, reflected the light, like the feathers of a peacock, curling and undulating with every move. Siri suddenly felt ashamed, ashamed of her grazed elbows, chapped hands, broken nails, her ashen, stringy hair. All of a sudden, she had an overwhelming desire to possess what Yennefer had, a beautiful, exposed neck, and on it a lovely black velvet ribbon with a lovely glittering star. Regular eyebrows, accentuated with charcoal and long lashes, proud lips, and those two mounds which rose with every breath, hugged by black cloth and white lace. So this is the famous surprise. The magician twisted her lips a little. Look me in the eyes, girl. Siri shuddered and hunched her shoulders. No, she did not envy Yennefer that one thing. She did not desire to have it, or even look at it. Those eyes, violet, deep as a fathomless lake, strangely bright, dispassionate and malefic, terrifying. The magician turned towards the stout high priestess. The star on her neck flamed with reflections of the sun beamed through the window into the refectory. Yes, Naneke, she said, there can be no doubt. One just has to look into those green eyes to know that there is something in her. High forehead, regular arch of the brows, eyes set attractively apart, narrow nose, long fingers, rare hair pigment, obvious elven blood, although there is not much of it in her. An elven great-grandfather or great-grandmother. I have guessed correctly? I don't know her family tree, the high priestess replied calmly. It didn't interest me. Tall for her age, continued the magician, still appraising Siri with her eyes. The girl was boiling over with fury and annoyance, struggling with an overpowering desire to scream defiantly, scream her lungs out, stamp her feet, and run off to the park, on the way knocking over the vase on the table and slamming the door so as to make the plaster crumble from the ceiling. Not badly developed. Yennefer did not take her eyes off her. Has she suffered any infectious diseases in childhood? Huh, no doubt you didn't ask her about that either. Has she been ill since she's been here? No. Any migraines, fainting, inclination to catch cold, painful periods? No, only those dreams. I know. Yennefer gathered the hair from her cheek. He wrote about that. It appears from his letter that in Kaer they didn't try out any of their experiments on her. I would like to believe that's true. It is. They only gave her natural stimulants. Stimulants are never natural. The magician raised her voice. Never. It is precisely the stimulants which may have aggravated her symptoms in Damn it, I never suspected him of such irresponsibility. Calm down. Naneke looked at her coldly and, all of a sudden, somehow oddly without respect. I said they were natural and absolutely safe. Forgive me, dear, but in this respect I am a greater authority than you. I know it is exceedingly difficult for you to accept someone else's authority, but in this case I am forced to inflict it on you. And let there be no more talk about it. As you wish. Yennefer pursed her lips. Well, come on, girl. We don't have much time. It would be a sin to waste it. Ciri could barely keep her hands from shaking. She swallowed hard and looked inquiringly at Naneke. The high priestess was serious, as if sad, and the smile which she answered the unspoken question was unpleasantly false. You're going with Lady Yennefer now, she said. Lady Yennefer is going to be looking after you for a while. Ciri bowed her head and clenched her teeth. You are no doubt baffled, continued Naneke, that a mistress of wizardry is suddenly taking you into her care. But you are a reasonable girl, Ciri. You can guess why. You have inherited certain attributes from your ancestors. You know what I'm talking about. You used to come to me after those dreams, after the nocturnal disturbances in the dormitory. I couldn't help you, but Lady Yennefer, interrupted the magician, will do what is necessary. Let us go, girl. Go, nodded Naneke, trying in vain to make her smile at least appear natural. Go, child. Remember, it is a great privilege to have someone like Lady Yennefer look after you. Don't bring shame on the temple and us, your mentors, and be obedient. I'll escape tonight, Ciri made up her mind. Back to Kaer Morhen. I'll steal a horse from the stable, and that's the last they'll see of me. I'll run away. Indeed you will, said the magician under her breath. I beg your pardon? The priestess raised her head. What did you say? Nothing, nothing, smiled Yennefer. You just thought I did. Or maybe I thought I did. Just look at this ward of yours, Naneke. Furious as a cat, sparks in her eyes. Just wait, and she'll hiss. And if she could flatten her ears, she would. A witcher girl. I'll have to take her firmly in hand, file her claws. Be more understanding. The high priestess's features visibly hardened. Please, be kind-hearted and understanding. She really is not who you take her to be. What do you mean by that? She is not your rival, Yennefer. For a moment they measured each other with their eyes, the enchantress and the priestess, and Ciri felt the air quiver, a strange, terrible force between them growing in strength. This lasted no more than a fraction of a second, after which the force disappeared and Yennefer burst out laughing, lighted-heartedly and sweetly. I forgot, she said. Always on his side, aren't you, Naneke? Always worrying about him, like the mother he never had. And you're always against him, smiled the priestess, bestowing him with strong feelings as usual, and defending yourself as hard as you can not to call the feeling by their rightful name. Once again, Ciri felt fury rise up somewhere in the pit of her stomach, and her temples throbbed with spite and rebellion. She remembered how many times and under what circumstances she had heard that name, Yennefer, a name which caused unease, a name which was the symbol of some sinister secret. She guessed what the secret was. They're talking quite openly in front of me, without any restraint, she thought, feeling her hands start to shake with anger once more. They're not bothered about me at all, ignoring me completely, as if I were a child. They're talking about Geralt in front of me, in my presence. But they can't, because I am... Who? You, on the other hand, Naneke, retorted the magician, are amusing yourself, as usual, analyzing other people's emotions, and on top of that, interpreting them to suit yourself. And putting my nose into other people's business? I didn't want to say that. Yennefer tossed her black locks, which gleamed and writhed like snakes. Thank you for doing so for me. Now let us change the subject, please, because the one we are discussing is exceptionally silly, disgraceful in front of our young pupil. And as for being understanding, as you ask, I will be, but kind-hearted. With that, there might be a problem, because, after all, it is widely thought I don't possess any such organ. But we'll manage somehow. Isn't that right, Surprise? She smiled at Siri, and, despite herself, despite her angry and annoyance, Siri had to respond with a smile, because the Enchantress's smile was unexpectedly pleasant, friendly, and sincere, and very, very beautiful. She listened to Yennefer's speech with her back ostentatiously turned, pretending to bestow her full attention on the bumblebee buzzing on the flower of one of the hawlocks growing by the temple wall. No one asked me about it, she mumbled. What didn't anyone ask you about? Siri turned in a half pirouette and furiously whacked the hollyhock with her fist. The bumblebee flew away, buzzing angrily and ominously. No one asked me whether I wanted you to teach me. Yennefer rested her fists on her hips. Her eyes flashed. What a coincidence, she hissed. Imagine that. No one asked me whether I wanted to teach you either. Besides, wanting has got nothing to do with it. I don't appreciate just anybody, and you, despite appearances, might still turn out to be a nobody. I was asked to check how things stand with you, to examine what is inside you, and how that could endanger you. And I, though not unreluctantly, agreed. But I haven't agreed yet. The magician raised her arm and moved her hand. Ciri experienced a throbbing in her temples and a buzzing in her ears, as if she were swallowing, but much louder. She felt drowsy, and an overpowering weakness, tiredness, stiffened her neck and softened her knees. Yennefer lowered her hand, and the sensation instantly passed. Listen to me carefully, Surprise, she said. I can easily cast a spell on you, hypnotize you, or put you in a trance. I can paralyze you, force you to drink an elixir, strip you naked, lay you out on a table, and examine you for hours, taking breaks for meals, while you lie there, looking at the ceiling, unable to move even your eyeballs. That is what I would do to just any snotty kid. I do not want to do that to you, because one can see, at first glance, that you are an intelligent and proud girl, that you have character. I don't want to put you or myself to shame. Not in front of Geralt. He is the one who asked me to take care of your abilities, to help you deal with them. He asked you? Why? He never said anything to me. He never asked me. You keep going back to that, cut in the magician. No one asked for your opinion. No one took the trouble to check what you want or don't want. Could you have given cause for someone to consider you a contrary, or stubborn, snotty kid whom it is not worth asking questions like that? But I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to ask something no one ever asked you. Will you allow yourself to be examined? And what will it involve? What are these tests, and why? I have already explained. If you haven't understood, that's too bad. I have no intention of polishing your perception or working on your intelligence. I can examine a sensible girl just as well as a stupid one. I'm not stupid. I understood everything. All the better. But I'm not cut out to be a magician. I haven't got any abilities. I'm never going to be a magician, nor want to be one. I'm destined for Geralt. I'm destined to be a witcher. I've only come here for a short period. I'm going back to Kaer Morhen soon. You are persistently staring at my neckline, said Yennefer icily, narrowing her violet eyes a little. Do you see anything unusual there, or is it just plain jealousy? That star, muttered Ciri. What is it made of? Those stones move and shine so strangely. They pulsate, smiled the magician. They are active diamonds, sunken in obsidian. Do you want to see them up close? Touch them? Yes. No. Ciri backed away angrily, tossing her head, trying to dispel the faint scent of lilac and gooseberries emanating from Yennefer. I don't. Why should I? I'm not interested. Not a bit. I'm a witcher. I haven't got any magical abilities. I'm not cut out to be a magician. Surely it's clear because I'm... And anyway, the magician sat on the stone bench under the wall and concentrated on examining her fingernails. And anyway, concluded Ciri, I've got to think about it. Come here. Sit next to me. She obeyed. I've got some time. I've got to have time to think about it, she said hesitantly. Quite right, Yennefer nodded, still gazing at her nails. It is a serious matter. It needs to be thought over. Both said nothing for a while. The novices strolling through the park, glancing at them with curiosity, whispered, giggled. Well? Well, what? Have you thought about it? Ciri leapt to her feet, snorted, and stamped. I, she panted, unable to catch her breath from anger. Are you making fun of me? I need time. I need to think about it, for longer, for a whole day and night. Yennefer looked her in the eyes, and Ciri shriveled under the gaze. The saying goes, the magician said slowly, that the night brings solutions. But in your case, Surprise, the only thing night can bring is yet another nightmare. You will wake up again, screaming and in pain, drenched in sweat. You will be frightened again, frightened of what you saw, frightened of what you won't be able to remember. And there will be no sleep that night. There will be fear until dawn. The girl shuddered, lowering her head. Surprise. Jennifer's voice changed imperceptibly. Trust me. The enchantress's shoulder was warm. The black velvet of her dress asked to be touched. The scent of lilac and gooseberries intoxicated delightfully. Her embrace calmed and soothed, relaxed, tempered excitement, stilled anger and rebellion. You'll submit to the test, Surprise. I will, she answered, understanding she did not really have to reply, because it was not a question. I don't understand anything anymore, said Ciri. First you say I've got abilities because I've got those dreams, but you don't want to do tests and check. So how is it? Do I have abilities, or don't I? That question will be answered by the tests. Tests, texts. She pulled a face. Haven't got any abilities, I can tell you. I'd know if I had them, wouldn't I? Well, but if by some sheer chance I had abilities, what then? There are two possibilities. The magician informed her with indifference as she opened the window. Your abilities will either have to be extinguished, or you will have to learn how to control them. If you are gifted and want to, I can try to instill in you some elementary knowledge of magic. What does elementary mean? Basic. They were alone in the large chamber next to the library in an unoccupied side wing of the building, which Nenneke had allocated to the lady magician. Ciri knew that this chamber was used by guests. She knew that Geralt, whenever he visited the temple, stayed right here. Are you going to want to teach me? She sat on the bed and skimmed her hand over the damask eider down. Are you going to want to take me away from here? I'm never going to leave with you. So I'll leave alone, said Yennefer coldly, untying the straps of her saddlebags. And I assure you, I'm not going to miss you. I did tell you that I'll educate you only if you decide you want to, and I can do so here, on the spot. How long are you going to teach me for? As long as you want. The magician leaned over, opened the chest of drawers, pulled out an old leather bag, a belt, 2 boots trimmed with fur, and a clay demijohn in a wicker basket. Ciri heard her curse under her breath while smiling, and saw her hide the finds back in the drawers. She guessed who they were, who had left them there. What does that mean, as long as I want? She asked. If I get bored, or don't like the work, we'll put an end to it. It's enough that you tell me, or show me. Show you? How? Should we decide on educating you, I will demand absolute obedience. I repeat, absolute. If, on the other hand, you get tired of it, it will suffice for you to disobey. Then the lessons will instantly cease. Is that clear? Ciri nodded and cast a feeding glance of her green eyes at the magician. Secondly, continued Yennefer, unpacking her saddlebags, I will demand absolute sincerity. You will not be allowed to hide anything from me. Anything. So if you feel you have had enough, it will suffice for you to lie, pretend, faint, or close in on yourself. If I ask you something and you do not answer sincerely, that will also indicate an instant end to our lessons. Have you understood? Yes, muttered Ciri. And that sincerity, does that work both ways? Will I be able to ask you questions? Yennefer looked at her, and her lips twisted strangely. Of course, she answered after a while. That goes without saying. That will be the basis of learning and protection I aim to give you. Sincerity works both ways. You are to ask me questions. At any time, I will answer, sincerely. Any question. Any question. As of now? Yes. As of now. What is there between you and Geralt, Lady Yennefer? Ciri almost fainted, horrified at her own impertinence, chilled by the silence which followed the question. The enchantress slowly approached her, placed her hands on her shoulders, looked her in the eyes, from up close, and deeply. Longing, she answered gravely, regret, hope, and fear. Yes, I don't think I have omitted anything. Well, now we can get on with the tests, you little green-eyed viper. We will see if you're cut out for this. Although after your question, I would be very surprised if it turned out you aren't. Let's go, my ugly one. Ciri brindled. Why do you call me that? Yennefer smiled with the corner of her lips. I promised to be sincere. Ciri, annoyed, pulled herself straight and wiggled in her hard chair which, after many hours of sitting, hurt her backside. Nothing's going to come of it, she snarled, wiping her charcoal-smeared fingers on the table. After all this, nothing. Nothing works out for me. I'm not cut out to be a magician. I knew that right from the start, but you didn't want to listen to me. You didn't pay any attention. Yennefer raised her eyebrows. I didn't want to listen to you, you say. That's interesting. I usually devote my attention to every sentence uttered in my presence and note it in my memory, the one condition being that there be at least a sense in the sentence. You're always mocking me, Ciri grated her teeth, and I just wanted to tell you, well, about these abilities. You see, in Kaer Morhen in the mountains, I couldn't form a single Witcher sign. Not one. I know. You know? I know. But it doesn't mean anything. How's that? Well, but that's not all. I'm listening in suspense. I'm not cut out for it. Can't you understand that? I'm too young. I was younger than you when I started. But I'm not sure you weren't. What do you mean, girl? Stop stuttering. At least one full sentence, please. Because, Ciri lowered her head and blushed, because Iola, Mara, Ironard, and Katie, when we were having dinner, laughed at me and said that witchcraft doesn't have access to me because I'm not going to perform any magic because I'm a virgin. That means I know what it means, believe it or not, interrupted the magician. No doubt you'll see this as another spiteful piece of mockery, but I hate to tell you that you're talking a lot of rubbish. Let us get back to the test. I'm a virgin, repeated Ciri aggressively. Why the test? Virgins can't do magic. I can't see a solution. Yennefer leaned back in her chair. So go out, lose your virginity if it gets in your way so much. But be quick about it, if you please. Are you making fun of me? You've noticed. The magician smiled faintly. Congratulations. You've passed the preliminary test of perspi- per- I can't pronounce this. Give me 1 second.
Perspicacity?
Perspicacity. I've never seen that before. My brain broke.
It's fine. It's a hard word because it took me a moment to go, I know this word.
Okay. You've passed the test. You've passed the preliminary test of perspicacity. And now for the real test. Concentrate, please. Look, there are 4 pine trees in this picture. Each one has a different number of branches. Draw a fifth to fit in with the other 4, and to fit in the space here. Pine trees are silly, decreed Ciri, sticking out her tongue and drawing a slightly crooked tree with her charcoal. And boring. I can't understand what pine trees have to do with magic. What? Lady Yennefer, you promised to answer my questions. Unfortunately, said the magician, picking up the sheet of paper and critically appraising the drawing, I think I am going to regret that promise. What do pine trees have in common with magic? Nothing. But you've drawn it correctly, and on time. In truth, excellent for a virgin. Are you laughing at me? No, I rarely laugh. I really need to have a good reason to laugh. Concentrate on the next page, Surprise. There are rows of stars, circles, crosses, and triangles drawn on it. A different number of each shape in a row. Think and answer. How many stars should there be on the last row? Stars are silly. How many? 3. Yennefer did not say anything for a long time. She stared at a detail on the carved wardrobe door known only to her. The mischievous smile on Ciri's lips started slowly to disappear until finally it disappeared altogether without a trace. No doubt you were curious to learn, said the magician very slowly, not ceasing to admire the wardrobe. What would happen if you gave me a senseless and stupid reply? You thought perhaps I might not notice because I am not in the least interested in your answers. You thought wrongly. You believed, perhaps, that I would simply accept that you were stupid. You were wrong. But if you are bored of being tested and wanted, for a change, to test me, well, that has clearly worked, hasn't it? Either way, this test is concluded. Return the paper. I'm sorry, Lady Yennefer. The girl lowered her head. There should be, of course, or there should, of course, be 1 star there. I'm very sorry. Please don't be angry with me. Look at me, Ciri. The girl raised her eyes, astonished, because for the first time the magician had called her by her name. Ciri, said Yennefer, know that, despite appearances, I get angry just as rarely as I laugh. You haven't made me angry, but in apologizing, you have proved I wasn't wrong about you. And now take the next sheet of paper. As you can see, there are 5 houses on it. Draw the 6th. Again, I can't really understand why. The 6th house. The lady magician's voice changed dangerously, and her eyes flashed with a violent glow. Here, in this space. Don't make me repeat myself. After apples, pine trees, stars, fishes, and houses, came the turn of labyrinths through which she had to quickly find a path. Wavy lines, blots which looked like squashed cockroaches, and mosaics which made her go cross-eyed and set her head spinning. Then there was a shining ball on a piece of string at which she had to stare at for a long time. Staring at it was as dull as dishwater, and Ciri kept falling asleep. Yennefer, surprisingly, did not even care, though a few days earlier she had scolded her grimly for napping over one of the cockroach blots. Poring over the tests had made her neck and back ache, and day by day they grew more painful. She missed movement and fresh air, and, obliged to be sincere, she immediately told Yennefer. The magician took it easily, as if she had been expecting this for a long time. For the next 2 days they both ran through the park, jumped over ditches and fences, under the amused or pitying eyes of the priestesses and novices. They exercised and practiced their balance, walking along the top of the wall which encircled the orchard and farm buildings. Unlike the training in Kaer Morhen, though, the exercises with Yennefer were always accompanied by theory. The magician taught Ciri how to breathe, guiding the movement of her chest and diaphragm with strong pressure from her hand. She explained the rules of movement, how muscles and bones work, and demonstrated how to rest, release tension, and relax. During one such session of relaxation, stretched out on the grass and gazing at the sky, Ciri asked a question which was bothering her. Lady Yennefer, when are we going to finally finish the tests? Do they bore you so much? No, but I'd like to know whether I'm cut out to be a magician. You are. You know that already? I knew from the start. Few people can detect the activity of my star. Very few. You noticed it right away. And the tests? Concluded. I already know what I wanted to know about you. But some of the tasks, they didn't work out well. You said yourself that. Are you really sure? You're not mistaken? You're sure I have the ability? I'm sure. But, Ciri, the enchantress looked both amused and impatient. From the moment we lay down in the meadow, I have been talking to you without using my voice. It's called telepathy. Remember that. And as you no doubt noticed, it has not made our talking together any more difficult. Magic. Yennefer, her eyes fixed on the sky above the hills, rested her hands on the pommel of her saddle, is, in some people's opinion, the embodiment of chaos. It is a key capable of opening the forbidden door. the door behind which lurked nightmares. Fear and unimaginable horrors, behind which enemies hide and wait, destructive powers, the forces of pure evil, capable of annihilating not only the one who opens the door, but with them the entire world. And since there is no lack of those who try to open the door, someone at some point is going to make a mistake, and then the destruction of the world will be forejudged and inevitable. Magic is, therefore, the revenge and the weapon of chaos. The fact that, following the conjunction of the spheres, people have learned to use magic is the curse and undoing of the world, the undoing of mankind. And that's how it is, Siri. Those who believe that magic is chaos are not mistaken. Spurned on by its mistress's heels, the magician's black stallion neighed lengthily and slowly made its way into the heather. Siri hastened her horse, followed in Yennefer's tracks, and caught up with her. The heather reached to their stirrups. Magic, Yennefer continued after a while, is in some people's opinion art. Great elitist art, capable of creating beautiful and extraordinary things. Magic is a talent. Really, Tiger?
That wasn't me.
That was Bobo. Magic is a talent only granted Magic is a talent granted only to a chosen few. Others, deprived of talent, can only look at the results of the artist's work with admiration and envy, can admire the finished work while feeling that without these creations and without this talent, the world would be a poorer place. Yeah, and I gave it back. The fact that I'm trying to finish the book, Bobo. I'll do it afterwards, okay? I gave you your card back. The fact that, following the conjunction of the spheres, some chosen few discovered talent and magic within themselves. The fact that they found art within themselves is the blessing of beauty. And that's how it is. Those who believe that magic is art are also right. On the long bare hill which protruded from the heath like the back of some lurker predator lay an enormous boulder supported by a few smaller ones. The magician guided her horse in its direction without pausing her lecture. There are also those according to whom magic is a science. In order to master it, talent and innate ability alone are not enough. Years of keen study and arduous work are essential. Endurance and self-discipline are necessary. Magic acquired like this is knowledge, learning, the limits of which are constantly stretched and enlightened and vigorous minds by experience, experiments, and practice. Magic acquired in such a way is progress. It is the plow, the loom, the watermill, the smelting furnace, the wench, and the pulley. Thank you, Tank. It is progress, evolution, change. It is constant movement, upwards, towards improvement, towards the stars. The fact that following the conjunction of the spheres we discovered magic will, one day, allow us to reach the stars. Dismount, Siri. Yennefer approached the monolith, placed her palm on the coarse surface of the stone, and carefully brushed away the dust and dry leaves. Those who consider magic to be a science, she continued, are also right. Remember that, Siri. And now come here, to me. The girl swallowed and came closer. The enchantress put her arm around her. Remember, she repeated, magic is chaos, art and science. It is a curse, a blessing, and progress. It all depends on who uses magic and how they use it and to what purpose. And magic is everywhere, all around us, easily accessible. It is enough to stretch out one's hand. See? I'm stretching out my hand. The cromlech trembled perceptibly. Ciri heard a dull, distant noise and a rumble coming from within the earth. The heather undulated, flattened by the gale which suddenly gusted across the hill. The sky abruptly turned dark, covered with clouds, scudding across at incredible speed. The girl felt drops of rain on her face. She narrowed her eyes against the flash of lightning which suddenly flared across the horizon. She automatically huddled up to the enchantress, against her black hair smelling of lilac and gooseberries. The earth which we tread, the fire which does not go out within it, the water from which all life is born and without which life is not possible, the air we breathe. It is enough to stretch out one's hand to master them, to subjugate them. Magic is everywhere. It is in air, in water, in earth, and in fire. It is behind the door which the conjunction of the spheres has closed on us. From there, from behind the closed door, magic sometimes extends its hand to us, for us. You know that, don't you? You have already felt the touch of that magic, the touch of the hand from behind that door. The touch filled you with fear. Such a touch fills everyone with fear, because there is chaos and order, good and evil in all of us. But it is possible and necessary to control it. It has to be learnt, and you will learn it, Ciri. That is why I brought you here, to this stone which, from time immemorial, has stood at the crossing of veins of power pulsating with force. Touch it. The boulder shook, vibrated, and with it the entire hill vibrated and shook. Magic is extending its hands toward you, Ciri. To you, strange girl Surprise, child of the elder blood, the blood of elves. Strange girl, woven into movement and change, into annihilation and rebirth, destined and destiny. Magic extends its hand toward you, from behind the closed door, towards you, a tiny grain of sand in the workings of the clock of fate. Chaos extends its talons toward you, still uncertain if you will be its tool or an obstacle in its design. That which chaos shows you in your dreams is this very uncertainty. Chaos is afraid of you, child of destiny, but it wants you to be the one who feels fear. There was a flash of lightning and a long rumble of thunder. Ciri trembled with cold and dread. Chaos cannot show you what it really is. So it is showing you the future, showing you what is going to happen. It wants you to be afraid for the coming days, so that fear of what is going to happen to you and those closest to you will start to guide you, take you over completely. That is why chaos is sending you those dreams. Now you are going to show me what you see in your dreams. And you are going to be frightened. And then you will forget and master your fear. Look at my star, Ciri. Don't take your eyes from it. A flash, a rumble of thunder. Speak, I command you. Blood. Yennefer's lips, cut and crushed, move silently, flow with blood. White rocks flitter past, seen from a gallop. A horse neighs, a leap, valley, abyss, screaming, flight, an endless flight, abyss. In the depth of the valley, in the depth of the abyss, smoke, stairs leading down. Vaese, Dirac, Ape, Agen. Something is coming to an end. What? Elaine, Blath, Fanwed, child of the elder blood. Yennefer's voice seems to come from somewhere afar, is dull, awakens echoes amidst the stone walls dripping with damp. Elaine Blath, speak! The violet eyes shine, burn in the emaciated, shriveled face, blackened with suffering, veiled with a tempest of disheveled, dirty black hair, darkness, damp, stench, the excruciating cold of stone walls, the cold of iron on wrists, on ankles, abyss, smoke, stairs leading down, stairs down which she must go, must because something is coming to an end, because Ted Deret, the time of end, the time of the wolf's blizzard is approaching, the time of the white chill and white light. The lion cub must die, for reasons of state. Let's go, said Geralt, down the stairs. We must. It must be so. There is no other way. Only the stairs. Down. His lips are not moving. They are blue. Blood. Blood everywhere. The whole stairs in blood. Mustn't slip, because the Witcher trips just once. The flash of a blade. Screams. Death. Down. Down the stairs. Smoke. Fire. Frantic galloping, hooves thundering. Flames all around. Hold on, lion cub of Sintra. The black horse neighs, rears. Hold on. The black horse dances. In the slit of the helmet adorned with the wings of a bird of prey shine and burn merciless eyes. A broadsword reflecting the glow of the fire falls with a hiss. Dodge, Ciri. Feign. Pirouette. Parry. Dodge. Dodge. Too slow. The blow blinds her with its flash, shakes her whole body. The pain paralyzes her for a moment, dulls, deadens, and then suddenly explodes with a terrible strength, sinks its cruel, sharp fangs into her cheek, yanks, penetrates right through, radiates into the neck, the shoulders, chest, lungs. Ciri! She felt the coarse, unpleasant, still coolness of the stone on her back and head. She did not remember sitting down. Yennefer was kneeling next to her. Gently but decisively, she straightened her fingers, pulled her hand away from her cheek. The cheek throbbed, pulsated with pain. "Mamma," groaned Ciri. "Mamma, how it hurts! Mamma." The magician touched her face. Her hand was as cold as ice. The pain stopped instantly. "I saw," the girl whispered, closing her eyes. "I saw the things I saw in the dreams. A black night, Geralt, and also you. I saw you, Lady Yennefer. I know. I saw you. I saw how. Nevermore. You will never see that again. You won't dream about it any more. I will give you the force to push those nightmares away. That is why I have brought you here, Ciri, to show you that force. Tomorrow I am going to give it to you." Long, arduous days followed, days of intensive study and exhausting work. Yennefer was firm, frequently stern, sometimes masterfully formidable, but she was never boring. Previously, Ciri would barely keep her eyes open in the temple school, and would sometimes even doze off during a lesson, lulled by the monotonous, gentle voice of Nenneke, Iola I, Roswitha, or some other teacher. With Yennefer it was impossible, and not only because of the timbre of the lady magician's voice and the short, sharply accentuated sentences she used. The most important element was the subject of her studies, the study of magic. Fascinating, exciting, and absorbing study. Ciri spent most of the day with Yennefer. She returned to the dormitory late at night, collapsed into bed like a log, and fell asleep immediately. The novices complained that she snored very loudly and tried to wake her, in vain. Ciri slept deeply, with no dreams. "Oh gods," Yennefer sighed in resignation, and, ruffling her black hair with both hands, lowered her head. "But it's so simple. If you can't master this move, what will happen with the harder ones?" Ciri turned away, trembling something in a raspy voice, and massaged her stiff hand. The magician sighed once more. "Take another look at the etching. See how your fingers should be spread. Pay attention to the explanatory arrows and runes describing how the move should be performed." "I've already looked at the drawings 1,000 times. I understand the runes. For calme, ease, velo. Away from oneself, slowly. Down quickly. The hand. Like this? And the little finger? It's impossible to position it like that without bending the ring finger at the same time. Give me your hand." "Ouch!" "Not so loud, Ciri, otherwise Nenneke will come running again. thinking that I'm skinning you alive or frying you in oil. Don't change the position of your fingers. Now perform the gesture. Turn, turn the wrist. Good. Now shake the hand, relax the fingers, and repeat. No, no. Do you know what you did? If you were to cast a real spell like that, you'd be wearing your hand in splints for a month. Are your hands made of wood? My hand's trained to hold a sword, that's why. Nonsense. Geralt has been brandishing his sword for his whole life, and his fingers are agile and, very gentle. Continue, my ugly one. Try again. See? It's enough to want to. It's enough to try. Once more. Good. Shake your hand. And once again. Good. Are you tired? A little. Let me massage your hand and arm. Ciri, why aren't you using the ointment I gave you? Your hands are as rough as crocodile skin. But what's this? A mark left by a ring, am I right? Was I imagining it, or did I forbid you to wear any jewelry? But I won the ring from Mira playing spinning tops, and I wore it for half a day. That's half a day too long. Don't wear it anymore, please. I don't understand. Why aren't I allowed? You don't have to understand, the magician said, cutting her short. But there was no anger in her voice. I'm asking you not to wear any ornaments like that. Pin a flower to your hair if you want to. Weave a wreath for your hair, but no metal, no crystals, no stones. It's important, Ciri. When the time comes, I will explain why. For the time being, trust me and do as I ask. You wear your star, earrings, and rings, and I'm not allowed? Is it because I'm a virgin? Ugly one. Yennefer smiled and stroked her on the head. Are you still obsessed with that? I've already explained to you. It doesn't matter whether you are or not. Not in the least. Wash your hair tomorrow. It needs it, I see. Lady Yennefer? Yes. May I, as part of the sincerity you promised, may I ask you something? You may, but by all the gods, not about virginity, please. Ciri bit her lip and did not say anything for a long time. Too bad, sighed Yennefer. Let it be. Ask away. Because, you see, Ciri blushed and licked her lips, the girls in the dormitory are always gossiping and telling all sorts of stories about Belita's Valentine's feast and others like that, and they say I'm a snotty kid, a child because it's time. Lady Yennefer, how really does it work? How can one know that the time has come? To go to bed with a man? Ciri blushed a deep shade of crimson. She said nothing for a while, then raised her eyes and nodded. I'm just going to skip that part. After mastering the basic positions of the hands, the moves and gestures, Ciri began to learn spells and their formulae. The formulae were easier. Written in Elder speech, which the girl already knew to perfection, they sank easily into her memory. Nor did she have any problems enunciating the frequently complicated intonations. Yennefer was clearly pleased and, from day to day, was becoming more pleased and sympathetic. More and more frequently, taking breaks in the studies, both gossiped and joked about any old thing. Both even began to amuse themselves by delicately poking fun at Neke, who often visited their lectures and exercises, bristling and puffed up like a brooding hen, ready to take Ciri under her protective wing, to protect and save her from the magician's imagined severity and the inhuman tortures of her education. Obeying instructions, Ciri moved to Yennefer's chamber. Now they were together, not only by day but also by night. Sometimes their studies would take place during the night. Certain moves, formulae, and spells could not be performed in daylight. The magician, pleased with the girl's progress, slowed the speed of her education. They had more free time. They spent their evenings reading books together or separately. Ciri waded through Stemmelford's Dialogues on the Nature of Magic, Guillaume Batista's Forces of the Elements, and Rickert and Monk's Natural Magic. She also flickered through, because she did not manage to read them in their entirety, such works as John Becker's The Invisible World and Agnes of Glanville's The Secret of Secrets. She dipped into the ancient yellowed Codex of Mirth, Ard Arcane, and even the famous, terrible Du Demermont, full of menacing etchings. She also reached for other books which had nothing to do with magic. She read the history of the world and a treatise on life. Nor did she leave out lighter works from the temple library. Blushing, she devoured Marquis Le Creme's Gambles and Anna Tiller's The King's Ladies. She read the adversaries of Living and Time of the Moon, collections of poems by the famous troubadour Dandelion. She shed tears over the ballads of Essay d'Aville, subtle infused with mystery, and collected in a small, beautifully bound volume entitled The Blue Pearl. She made frequent use of her privilege to ask questions, and she received answers more and more frequently. However, she was the one being questioned. In the beginning it had seemed that Yennefer was not at all interested in her lot, in her childhood in Cintra, or the later events of war. But in time her questions became more and more concrete. Ciri had to reply, and did so very unwillingly, because every question the magician asked opened a door in her memory which she had promised herself never to open. Thank you, Tank. Ever since she had met Geralt in Sodden, she had believed she had begun another life. Then the other life, the one in Cintra, had been irrevocably wiped out. The Witchers in Kaer never asked her about anything, and, before coming to the temple, Geralt had even prevailed upon her not to say a word to anyone about who she was. Nenneke, who, of course, knew about everything, saw to it that the other priestesses and novices Ciri was exceptionally ordinary, an illegitimate daughter of a knight and a peasant woman, a child for whom there had been no place either in her father's castle or her mother's cottage. Half of the novices in Militel's temple were just such children. Thank you, Tank. And Yennefer too knew the secret. She was the one who could be trusted. Yennefer asked about it, about Cintra. How did you get out of the town, Ciri? How did you slip past the Nilfgaardians? Ciri did not remember. Everything broke off, was lost in obscurity and smoke. She remembered the siege, saying goodbye to Queen Calenthe, her grandmother. She remembered the barons and knights forcibly dragging her from the bed where the wounded, dying Lioness of Cintra lay. She remembered the frantic escape through the flaming streets, the bloody battle, and the horses falling. She remembered the black rider in the helmet adorned with the wings of a bird of prey, and nothing more. I don't remember. I really don't remember, Lady Yennefer. Yennefer did not insist. She asked different questions. She did so gently and tactfully, and Ciri grew more and more at ease. Finally, she started to speak herself, without waiting to be asked. She recounted her years as a child in Cintra and on the Isle of Skellige, about how she learned about the law of surprise, and the fate had decreed her to be the destiny of Geralt of Rivia, the white-haired witcher. She recalled the war, her exile in the forest of Transriver, her time among the druids of Angren, and the time spent in the country. How Geralt had found her there and taken her to Kaer the Witcher's Keep, thus opening a new chapter in her short life. One evening, of her own initiative, unasked, casually, joyfully, and embellishing a great deal, she told the enchantress about her first meeting with the Witcher in Brocklin Forest, amongst the Dryads who had abducted her and wanted to force her to stay and become one of them. "Oh," said Yennefer, on listening to the story, "I'd give a lot to see that. Geralt, I mean. I'm trying to imagine the expression on his face in Brocklin. when he saw that sort of surprise destiny had concocted for him, because he must have had a wonderful expression when he found out who you were. Siri giggled, and her emerald eyes lit up devilishly. Oh, yes, she snorted. What an expression. Do you want to see? I'll show you. Look at me. Yennefer burst out laughing. That laughter, thought Siri, watching swarms of black birds flying eastward, that laughter, shared and sincere, really brought us together, her and me. We understood, both she and I, that we can laugh and talk together about him, about Geralt. Suddenly we became close, although I knew perfectly well that Geralt both brought us together and separated us. And that's how it would always be. Our laughter together brought us closer to each other, as did the events 2 days later. In the forest on the hills, she was showing me how to find. I don't understand why I have to look for these. I've forgotten what they're called again. Intersections, prompted Yennefer, picking off the burrs which had attached themselves to her sleeve as they crossed the scrubs. I am showing you how to find them because they're planes from which we can draw the Force. But I know how to draw the Force already, and you taught me yourself that the Force is everywhere. So why are we roaming around the bushes? After all, there's a great deal of Force in the temple. Yes, indeed. There is a fair amount there. That's exactly why the temple was built there, and not somewhere else. And that's why, on temple grounds, drawing it seems so easy to you. My legs hurt. Can we sit down for a while? All right, my ugly one. Lady Yennefer? Yes. Why do we always draw the Force from water veins? Magical energy, after all, is everywhere. It's in the earth, isn't it? In air, in fire? True. And earth. Here, there's plenty of earth around here, under our feet, and air is everywhere. And should we want fire, it's enough to light a bonfire and you're still too weak to draw energy from the earth. You still don't know enough to succeed in drawing anything from air. And as for fire, I absolutely forbid you to play with it. I've already told you, under no circumstances are you allowed to touch the energy of fire. Don't shout, I remember. They sat in silence on a fallen dry tree trunk, listening to the wind rustling in the treetops, listening to a woodpecker hammering away somewhere close by. Ciri was hungry, and her saliva was thick from thirst, but she knew that complaining would not get her anywhere. In the past, a month ago, Yennefer had reacted to such complaints with a dry lecture on how to control such primitive instincts. Later, she had ignored them in contemptuous silence. Protesting was just as useless and produced a few results as sulking over being called ugly one. The magician plucked the last burr from her sleeve. She's going to ask me something in a moment, thought Ciri. I can hear her thinking about it. She's going to ask about something I don't remember again, or something I don't want to remember. No, it's senseless. I'm not going to answer. All of that is in the past, and there's no returning to the past. She once said to herself, Tell me about your parents, Ciri. I can't remember them, Lady Yennefer. Please try to. I really don't remember my papa, she said in a quiet voice, succumbing to the command. Except practically nothing. My mamma, my mamma, I do. She had long hair like this, and she always was always sad. I remember. No, I don't remember anything. Try to remember, please. I can't. Look at my scar. Seagulls screamed, diving down between the fishing boats where they caught scourings and tiny fish emptied from the crates. The wind gently fluttered and lowered sails of the darkness, and smoke, quelled by drizzle, floated above the landing stage. Trammies from Sintra were sailing into the port. Golden lions glistened on blue flags. Uncle Croc, who was standing next to her with his hand, as large as a paw of a grizzly bear, on her shoulder, suddenly fell to one knee. Warriors standing in rows, rhythmically struck their shields with their swords. Along the gangplank toward them came Queen Calinthe, her grandmother, who was officially called Ard Reina, the highest queen on the Isles of Skellige, but Uncle Croc-en-Crate, the Earl of Skellige, still kneeling with bowed head, greeted the Lioness of Cintra with a title which was less official but considered by the islanders to be more venerable. Hail, Modron. Princess, said Calanthe in a cold and authoritative voice, without so much as a glance at the Earl. Come here. Come to me, Ciri. Her grandmother's hand was as strong and hard as a man's, her rings cold as ice. Where is Ice? The king, stammered Croc. Is at sea, Modron. He is looking for the remains, and the bodies, since yesterday. Why did he let them? Shouted the queen. How could he allow it? How could you allow it, Croc? You're the Earl of Skellige. No Drakkar is allowed to go out to sea without your permission. Why did you allow it, Croc? Uncle Croc bowed his head even lower. Horses, said Calanthe. We're going to the fort, and tomorrow at dawn I'm setting sail. I'm taking the princess to Cintra. I will never allow her to return here. And you have a huge debt to repay me, Croc. One day I will demand repayment. I know, Modron. If I do not claim it, she will do so. Calanthe looked at Ciri. You will repay the debt to her, Earl. You know how. Croc-en-Crate got to his feet, straightened himself, and the features of his weather-beaten face hardened. With a swift move, he drew from its sheath a simple steel sword devoid of ornaments and pulled up the sleeve of his left arm, marked with thickening white scars. Without the dramatic gestures, snorted the queen. Save your blood. I say 1 day. Remember. Ein me gladve zvern ablurge ardrena Lanors et Zintra. Cracon-Crate, the Earl of the Isle of Skellige, raised his arm and shook his sword. The warriors roared horselessly and beat their weapons against their shields. I accept your oath. Lead the way to the fort, Earl. Ciri remembered King Ice's return, his stony, pale face, and the queen's silence. She remembered the gloomy, horrible feast at which the wild, bearded sea-wolves of Skellige slowly got drunk in terrifying silence. She remembered the whispers. Gaze mirror, gaze mirror. She remembered the trickles of dark beer pouring onto the floor. The horns smashed against the stone walls of the hall in bursts of desperate, helpless, senseless anger. Gaze mirror, Pavetta. Pavetta, the Princess of Cintra, and her husband, Prince Duni, Ciri's parents, perished, killed. Gaze mirror, the curse of the sea, had killed them. They had been swallowed up by a tempest which no one had foreseen, a tempest which should not have broken out. Ciri turned her head away so Yennefer could not see the tears swelling in her eyes. Why all this, she thought. Why these questions, these recollections? There's no returning to the past. There's no one there for me any more. Not my papa, nor my mamma, nor my grandmother, who was the Ard Reyna, the Lioness of Cintra. Uncle Cracon-Crate, no doubt, is also dead. I haven't got anybody any more, and am someone else. There's no returning. The magician remained silent, lost in thought. Is that when your dreams began? She asked suddenly. No, Ciri reflected. No, not then. Not until later. When... The girl wrinkled her nose. In the summer. The one before, because the following summer there was the war already. Aha. That means the dream started after you met Geralt in Brocklin? She nodded. I'm not going to answer the next question, she decided. But Yennefer did not ask anything. She quickly got to her feet and looked at the sun. Well, that's enough of sitting around, my ugly one. It's getting late. Let's carry on looking. Keep your hand held loosely in front of you, and don't tense your fingers. Forward. Where am I to go? Which direction? It's all the same. The veins are everywhere? Almost. You're going to learn how to discover them, to find them in the open and recognize such spots. They are marked by trees which have dried up, gnarled plants, places avoided by all animals, except cats. Cats? Cats like sleeping and resting on intersections. There are many stories about magical animals, but really, apart from the dragons, a cat is the only creature which can absorb the force. No one knows why cats absorb it, and why it does with it. What's the matter? Ooh, there in that direction. I think there's something there, behind that tree. Siri, don't fantasize. Intersections can only be sensed by standing over them. Hmm, interesting. Extraordinary, I'd say. Do you really feel the pull? Really? Let's go then. Interesting, interesting. Well, locate it. Show me where. Here, on this spot. Well done. Excellent. So you feel delicate cramps in your ring finger. See how it bends downward? Remember, that's the sign. May I draw on it? Wait, I'll check. Lady Yennefer? How does it work with this drawing of the Force? If I gather Force into myself, then there might not be enough left down below. Is it all right to do it that? Mother Naneke taught us that we mustn't take anything just like that, for the fun of it. Even the cherry has to be left on the tree for the birds, so that it can simply fall. Yennefer put her arm around Ciri, kissed her gently on the hair at her temple. I wish, she muttered, others could hear what you said. Vilgefortz, Francesca, Terranova, those who believe they have exclusive rights to the Force and can use it unreservedly. I wish they could listen to the little wise ugly one from Militele's temple. Don't worry, Ciri. It's a good thing you're thinking about it, but believe me, there is enough Force. It won't run out. It's as if you picked one single cherry from a huge orchard. Can I draw on it now? Wait. Oh, it's a devilishly strong pocket. It's pulsating violently. Be careful, ugly one. Draw on it carefully and very, very slowly. I'm not frightened. Papa, I'm a witcher. Ha! I feel it. I feel. Ouch! Lady. Yet. Fur. Damn it, I warned you. I told you. Head up. Up, I say. Take this and put it to your nose, or you'll be covered in blood. Calmly, calmly, little one. Just don't faint. I'm beside you. I'm beside you. Daughter, hold the handkerchief. I'll just conjure up some ice. There was a great fuss about the small amount of blood. Yennefer and Naneke did not talk to each other for a week. For a week, Ciri lazed around, read books, and got bored because the magician had put her studies on hold. The girl did not see her for entire days. Yennefer disappeared somewhere at dawn, returned in the evening, looked at her strangely, and was oddly taciturn. After a week, Ciri had had enough. In the evening, when the enchantress returned, she went up to her without a word and hugged her hard. Yennefer was silent. For a very long time she did not have to speak. Her fingers, clasped in the girl's shoulders tightly, spoke for her. The following day, the high priestess and the lady magician made up, having talked for several hours, and then, to Ciri's great joy, everything returned to normal. Look into my eyes, Ciri. A tiny light. The formula, please. Ein versus. Good. Look up my hand. The same move, and disperse the light in the air. Ein, a, eine. Excellent. And what gesture comes next? Yes, that's the one. Very good. Strengthen the gesture and draw. More, more. Don't stop. Ouch! Keep your back straight. Arms at your side. Hands loose. No unnecessary moves with your fingers. Every move can multiply the effect. Do you want a fire to burst out here? Strengthen it. What are you waiting for? Ouch! No, I can't. Relax and stop shaking. Draw. What are you doing? There, that's better. Don't weaken your will. That's too fast. You're hyperventilating. Unnecessarily getting hot. Slower, ugly one. Calmer. I know it's unpleasant. You'll get used to it. It hurts. My belly. You're a woman. It's a typical reaction. Over time, you'll harden yourself against it. But in order to harden yourself, you have to practice without any painkillers blocking you. It really is necessary, Ciri. Don't be afraid of anything. I'm alert and screening you. Nothing can happen to you. But you have to endure the pain. Breathe calmly. Concentrate. The gesture, please. Perfect. And take the force, draw it, pull it in. Good, good. Just a bit more. Ah, ah, ouch! There, you see. You can do it if you want to. Now watch my hand. Carefully. Perform the same movement. Fingers. Fingers, Siri. Look at my hand, not the ceiling. Now, that's good. Yes, very good. Tie it up. Now turn it around. Reverse the move. And now issue the force to the form of a stronger light. Eek, eek, I. Stop moaning. Control yourself. It's just a cramp. It'll stop in a moment. Fingers wider. Extinguish it. Give it back. Give it back from yourself. Slower. Damn it, or your blood vessels will burst again. Eek. Too abrupt, ugly one. Still too abrupt. I know the force is bursting out, but you have to learn to control it. You mustn't allow outbursts like the one a moment ago. If I hadn't insulated you, you would have caused havoc here. Now, once more. We're starting right from the beginning. Move and formula. No, not again. I can't. Breathe slowly and stop shaking. It's plain hysteria this time. Don't fool me. Control yourself. Concentrate and begin. No, please, Lady Yennefer. It hurts. I feel sick. Just no tears, Siri. There's no sight more nauseating than a magician crying. Nothing arouses greater pity. Remember that. Never forget that. One more time from the beginning. Spell and gesture. No, no. This time without copying me. You're going to do it by yourself, so use your memory. Ein Verseus. Ein Ouch! No, too fast. Magic, like a spiked iron arrow, lodged in her, wounded her deeply, hurt with the strange sort of pain oddly associated with bliss. To relax, they once again ran around the park. Yennefer persuaded Nenneke to take Ciri's sword out of storage, and so enabled the girl to practice her steps, dodge, and attacks. In secret, of course, to prevent the other priestesses and novices from seeing her, but magic was omnipresent. Ciri learned how, using simple spells and focusing her will, to relax her muscles, combat cramps, control adrenaline, how to master her oral labyrinth and its nerve, how to slow or speed her pulse, and how to cope without oxygen for short periods. The lady magician knew a surprising amount about a witcher's sword and dance. She knew a great deal about the secrets of Kaer Morhen. There was no doubt she'd visited the keep. She knew Vesemir and Eskel, although not Lambert and Cohen. Yennefer used to visit Kaer Morhen. Ciri guessed why. When they spoke of the keep, the eyes of the enchantress grew warm, lost their angry gleam and their cold, indifferent, wise depth. If the words had benefited Yennefer's person, Ciri would have called her dreamy, lost in memories. Ciri could guess the reason. There was a subject which the girl instinctively and carefully avoided, but one day she got carried away and spoke out, about Tris Marigold. Yennefer, as if casually, as if indifferently, asking banal, sparring questions, dragged the rest from her. Her eyes were hard and impenetrable. Ciri could guess the reason, and amazingly, she no longer felt annoyed. Magic was calming. And the so-called sign of Ard, Ciri, is a very simple spell belonging to the family of psychokinetic magic, which is based on thrusting energy in the required direction. The force of the thrust depends on how the will of the person throwing it is focused and on the expelling force. It can be considerable. The Witchers adapted the spell, making use of the fact that it does not require knowledge of the magical formula. Concentration and the gesture are enough. It is why they call it a sign. Where they got the name from, I don't know. Maybe from the Elder speech. The word Ard, as you know, means mountain, upper, or the highest. If that is truly the case, then the name is very misleading because it is hard to find an easier psychokinetic spell. We, obviously, aren't going to waste time and energy on something as primitive as the Witcher's sign. We are going to practice real psychokinesis. We'll practice on that basket lying under the apple tree. Concentrate. Ready. Focus yourself quickly. Let me remind you. Control the flow of the force. You can only emit as much as you draw. If you reverse even a tiny bit more, you do so at the cost of your constitution. An effort like that would render you unconscious and, in extreme circumstances, could even kill you. If, on the other hand, you release everything you draw, you forfeit all possibility of repeating it, and you will have to draw it again. And, as you know, it is not easy to do, and it is painful. Oh, I know. You mustn't slacken your concentration and allow the energy to tear itself away from you of its own accord. My mistress used to say that emitting the force must be like blowing a raspberry in a balloon. Do it gently, sparingly, and with control. And in such a way you don't let loose around you, or you don't let those around you know it was you. Understood? Understood. Straighten yourself up. Stop giggling. Let me remind you that spells are a serious matter. They are cast with grace and pride. The motions are executed fluently, but with restraint, with dignity. You do not pull faces, grimace, or stick your tongue out. You are handling a force of nature. Show nature some respect. All right, Lady Yennefer. Careful. This time, I'm not screening you. You're an independent spellcaster. This is your debut, ugly one. You saw that demijohn of wine in the chest of drawers? If your debut is successful, your mistress will drink it tonight. By herself? Novices are only allowed to drink wine once they are qualified apprentices. You will have to wait. You're smart, so that just means another 10 years or so, not more. Right, let's start. Arrange your fingers. And the left hand? Don't wave it around. Let it hang loose and rest on your hip. Fingers. Good. Right, release. Ah! I didn't ask you to make funny noises. Emit the energy in silence. Haha, it jumped. The basket moved. Didn't you see? It barely twitched. Siri, sparingly does not mean weakly. Psychokinesis is used with a specific goal in mind. Even witchers use the sign of Ard to throw their opponent off their feet. The energy you emitted would not knock their hat off their head. Once more, a little stronger. Go for it. Ha! It certainly flew. It was all right that time, wasn't it, Lady Yennefer? We'll run to the kitchen afterwards and pinch a bit of cheese to go with our wine. That was almost right. Almost. Stronger still, ugly one. Don't be frightened. Lift the basket from the ground and throw it hard against the wall of that shack. Make feathers fly. Don't slouch. Head up. Gracefully, but with pride. Be bold. Be bold. Ah, bloody hell. Oh dear. I'm sorry, Lady Yennefer. I probably used a bit too much. A little bit. Don't worry. Come here. Come on, little one. And the shack? These things happen. There's no need to take it to heart. Your debut, on the whole, should be viewed as a success. And the shack? It wasn't too pretty. I don't think anyone will miss its presence in the landscape. Hold on, ladies. Calm down, calm down. Why is this uproar and commotion? Nothing's happened. Easy, Naneke. Really, nothing has happened. The planks just need to be cleared away. They'll make good firewood. During the warm, still afternoons, the air grew thick, and the scent of flowers and grass, pulsating with the peace and silence broken by the buzz of bees and enormous beetles. On afternoons like this, Yennefer carried Naneke's wicker chair out into the garden and sat on it, stretching her legs out in front of her. Sometimes she studied books, sometimes read letters which she received by means of strange couriers, usually birds. At times she simply sat gazing into the distance. With one hand, and lost in thought, she ruffled her black, shiny locks. With the other one she stroked Ciri's head as she sat on the grass, snuggled up to the magician's warm, firm thigh. Lady Yennefer, I'm here, ugly one. Tell me, can one do anything with magic? No. But you can do a great deal, am I right? You are. The enchantress closed her eyes for a moment and touched her eyelids with her fingers. A great deal. Something really great. Something terrible. Very terrible? Sometimes even more so than one would have liked. And could I... When will I be able to do something like that? I don't know. Maybe never. Would that you wouldn't have to. Silence. No words. Heat. The scent of flowers and herbs. Lady Yennefer, what now, ugly one? How old were you when you became a wizard? When I passed the preliminary exams? 13. Ha! Just like I am now. And how old were you when... No, I won't ask about that. 16. Aha! Siri blushed faintly, pretended to be suddenly interested in a strangely formed cloud hovering over the temple towers. How old were you when you met Geralt? Older, ugly one. A bit older. You still keep calling me ugly one. You know how I don't like it. Why would you do it? Because I'm malicious. Wizards are always malicious. But I don't want to be ugly. I want to be pretty, really pretty, like you, Lady Yennefer. Can I, through magic, be as pretty as you one day? You, fortunately, you don't have to. You don't need magic for it. You don't know how lucky you are. But I want to be really pretty. You are really pretty. A really pretty ugly one. My pretty little ugly one. Oh, Lady Yennefer! Ciri, you're going to bruise my thigh. Lady Yennefer? Yes. What are you looking at like that? At the tree. That linden tree. And what's so interesting about it? Nothing. I'm simply feasting my eyes on it. I'm happy that I can see it. I don't understand. Good. Silence. No words. Humid. Lady Yennefer. What now? There's a spider crawling towards your leg. Look how hideous it is. It's a spider. A spider's a spider. Kill it. I can't be bothered to bend over. Then kill it with magic. On the grounds of Melitele's temple? So that Naneke can throw us out head first? No, thank you. And now be quiet. I want to think. What are you thinking about so seriously? All right. I'm not going to say anything now. I'm beside myself with joy. I was worried you were going to ask me another one of your unequal grand questions. Why not? I like your unequal grand answers. You are getting impudent, little one. I'm a wizard. Wizards are malicious and impudent. No words. Silence. Stillness in the air. Close humidity as if before a storm. And silence, this time broken by the distant croaking of ravens and crows. There are more and more of them. Ciri looked upwards. They're flying and flying, like in autumn. Hideous birds. The priestesses say that it's a bad sign. An omen or something. What is an omen, Lady Yennefer? Look it up in Dwemermont. There's a whole chapter on the subject. Silence. Lady Yennefer? Ah, hell, what is it now? It's been so long. Why isn't he coming? He's forgotten about you, no doubt, ugly one. He's found himself a prettier girl. Oh no, I know he hasn't forgotten. He couldn't have. I know that. I know that for certain, Lady Yennefer. It's good you know. You're a lucky ugly one. I didn't like you, she repeated. Yennefer didn't look at her as she stood at the window with her back turned, staring at the hills looming back in the east. Above the hills, the sky was dark with flocks of ravens and crows. In a minute she's going to ask why I didn't like her, thought Ciri. No, she's too clever to ask a question. She'll dryly draw my attention to my grammar and ask when I started using the past tense. And I'll tell her. I'll be just as dry as she is. I'll parody her tone of voice and let her know that I, too, can pretend to be cold, unfeeling, and indifferent, ashamed of my feelings and emotions. I'll tell her everything I want to. I have to tell her everything. I want her to know everything before we leave Melitele's temple, before we part to finally meet the one I miss, the one she misses, the one who no doubt misses us both. I want to tell her that. I'll tell her. It's enough for her to ask. The magician turned from the window and smiled. She did not ask anything. They left the following day, early in the morning. Both wore men's traveling clothes, cloaks, hats, and hoods which hid their hair. Both were armed. Only Naneke saw them off. She spoke quietly and at length with Yennefer, and then they both, the magician and the priestess, shook each other's hand, hard like men. Ciri, holding the reins of her dapple-gray mare, wanted to say good-bye in the same way, but Naneke didn't allow it. She embraced her, hugged her, and gave her a kiss. There were tears in her eyes, in Ciri's too. Well, said the priestess finally, wiping her eye with her sleeve of her robe. Now go. May the great Melitele protect you on your way, my dears. But the goddess has many a great things on her mind, so look after yourself too. Take care of her, Yennefer. Keep her safe, like the apple of your eye. I hope, the magician said faintly, that I'll manage to keep her safer. Across the sky, toward Pontar Valley, flew flocks of crows, croaking loudly. Naneke didn't look at them. Take care, she repeated. Bad times are approaching. It might turn out to be true, what Ithlin ep Evnine knew, what she predicted. The time of the sword and axe are approaching. The time of contempt and the wolf's blizzard. Take care of her, Yennefer. Don't let anyone harm her. I'll be back, Mother, said Ciri, leaping onto her saddle. I'll be back for sure, soon. She did not know how very wrong she was. Okay, Bobo, if you want to play that card, you can play it now. Because that was the end of the first book.
Yay! Congratulations.
Nice.
Ow. Mm. New subscriber.
Ooh.
Oh, shit, Bobo.
Oh,
Wait. Yeah,
oh.
thank you, Bobo.
Guess that's a 2-2-3 now.
Yep. So that is like 2 more subs, which we still haven't done we still don't have the tweet yet. What do you mean you wanted it to go to you? Did you um you I don't know if you can gift yourself a sub.
Should. I mean, should. Huh?
I was about to say, if you wanted to play the card, Bobo, I'm not going to refund it now. I just wanted to get through the book first. But yeah, so 2 subs or 4 Streamlit packs, and we hit the next goal.
Mm-hmm,
Yay!
mm-hmm.
Question is, can we hit it before the timer runs out?
I believe we can.
Well, time will tell, won't it?
Like literally. Or Lumi.
He might be working right now, so
Oh shoot.
yeah.
Oh no.
I'm about to say, I don't know if you wanted to contact and be like, Lumi, help! Buy 5 packs real quick!
Send a message saying Lumi save the stream.
I dare you. I dare you.
Okay.
Send.
Don't tempt them.
No.
Oh, I'm very easy to be tempted.
Alright, so. But yeah, I also have a good book to use if you want to do the page turning thing. Literally, my word search book has the nice firm pages that you can actually hear. The one I was reading has the very, very soft pages that I don't know if the mic would pick up. So. Your sub ended, so it didn't give you an option to. No, that's for 5 subs or 10 Streamloop packs. So we have to do that in order to spin the wheel. Yeah, but it still has to be 5 packs. Or 10 packs or 5 subs, regardless if gifted or not. I'm sorry, Bobo. But, Oy. So, let me get Sagro's attention. I went and yelled at him. Hey, you ready? No.
Oh.
I didn't actually yell at him.
Oh, okay.
No, there's nothing to yell at him for. There's no reason to yell at him.
Mhm.
Very quiet there, Tank. Did you fall asleep?
It's not our fault that you have a very nice voice to listen to when you read.
You know what's really weird though? Is my voice feels like it starts going hoarse as I'm reading, and then when I stop reading, it goes back to normal.
I can see that.
Freaking weird!
Extreme.
Odd indeed.
Wait,
Speaking of that,
wait.
Thank you, Tiger.
you're welcome.
But you know that hits you too, right?
I know, and I have one in ready.
There is a very good reason why there is a cooldown. Let's say, one of my friends in chat, I showed him exactly why. It was like, hey, you don't have a cooldown. You probably should do that. Nobody will do it. Hydrate, 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 hydrate.
I feel like there's a drowning in hubris meme here.
Oh no, it's a thing of the. What? Do you want to do that? Yeah, your sandwiches are so much better than mine. Okay. Sagrel changed the title by accident. Bobo
Mm.
got excited. Bobo saw the title change. Was like, "Where's Sagrel?"
I'm over here making sandwiches.
Yeah, 'cause his sandwiches
You
are.
want one or two?
I want one.
Huh?
One, please. His sandwiches are so much better. Both of our sandwiches are made with love, but he makes like stoner food, and I don't know how, but he takes these weird ingredients, puts them together, and just
You
they.
call it stoner food?
Okay, so what are the first two states that legalized weed?
You're asking the wrong person for this type of trivia.
All right, who did it?
I'm the one who said that.
Bobo really, really wants you to spin that wheel. He bought 10 packs.
Oh, okay. Let me get that spin.
By the way, we're on superpower hour, so yee.
So it's technically worth.
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, we hit the next goal.
Ooh.
5, so that's because we're at 228. Thank you, Bobo. Bobo really, really wanted to hit. We're two. I am so sorry, but which one were you going for, Bobo? You know I can gift you packs, right?
Guess what time you got?
Did he get the 10 times?
No, he got it 4 times.
Okay, then you need to tell me exactly how much that is.
360.
Oh dear.
Having.
Boom. Here you go, Bobo. Going for the Subathon packs. And you bought 10. Bobo, what is your name inside the thingy? Oh my god, there's so many Bobos!
What do you mean there's so many bobos?
I'm trying to gift him packs, and there's one that's just Bobo.
There are 3 bows in Bobo.
I know there's 3. I typed in 3.
Look at the activity.
779. I think. Hold on. Activity. Activity feed. 779. Okay. Uh. Oh, I know what you're doing. Oh no, I know what he's doing. Here you go, Bobo. Enjoy. How can I deny someone? I know it's your stream name. I looked at it. I went and found it. But how can I deny someone who is being kind? He, her. What do you mean, kind? I'm allowing you to absolutely torture us. Willingly.
Ah,
You did that of your own volition. So, so Bobo got us back up to 6 hours. So he added 4 hours. We're just sitting here.
Hit the next goal, by the way.
We did! Oh, yeah, that's right. Hee hee hee. Boopy doop. So I have to play Dead by Daylight.
You excited?
I don't know. By the way, the next goal is a genderment model for me.
Ooh.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And I know, what is it? The 275 goal is the one that.
Hot, so please let it cool for a moment.
The 275 goal is one a lot of people want, because then they can dictate what you cook.
Very hot. Also,
That is yours, sweetie.
you don't like roast beef?
No. I love you so much. Remember, roast beef is specifically for you, my love. No, sweetie, the roast beef is yours. I got that specifically for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, ham and cheese. But I'm just waiting for the sound of a legendary to have been opened. I see it. And I gotta do this and go blink. I was gonna say, cause no, no, don't do it, don't do it. Do the 5 minutes. Do not do the don't do the 30 minute. I did that once. That was a mistake.
Why was it a mistake?
It costs way too damn much. Did you do it? Did you did I don't know how much it is. Yeah, do the 5 minute ones. Those are yeah. But yeah, so well, we've we've made it into tomorrow, guys. I was just looking at the time. Bobo has officially gotten us to tomorrow.
Yay.
And depending on how it goes, we may start a bit later also, I don't know. Or Sagrel may start earlier. Bobo got us to tomorrow.
I see.
I heard him say, I see.
He didn't realize. Hello.
Bobobo779 played this card.
What is this card? Squats. Oh, you! You! I have to do it because I'm the streamer right now. Oh, enjoy
Yeah,
it while
please
you can, sweetheart, because you can get smacked too. I gotta do the squats first, though. Yeah, okay. 1, 2. I'm too fat for this. 3.
Are you with your headphones on?
Yes.
Hmm.
I am too fat to do it with my legs shut. I had to spread my legs to do proper squats. Ugh. I had to do them before I pass it over, sweetie. What? 228. Ready when you are, sweetie.